Breaking news from the stadium tonight as an anonymous fan foot the bill for 55,000 hot dogs, bringing that sweet tubed meat to everyone in attendance.
Free dogs! Yeah!
55,000 hot dogs? What does that even cost?
While the identity of this Frankfurter philanthropist remains anonymous, their all-beefy generosity will go down in history.
The new Mega Millions. More to win means more to give. How you spend it is up to you. Yeah!
For game odds and details, visit sceducationlottery.com.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ13 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Drama on this Sunday with episodes of Lights Out and Bathysphere, The Man Called X, Herbert Marshall from 1951, Nick Carter, Master Detective starring Lon Clark from 1947, the CBS Radio Workshop and the story of Joan of Arc. And we wrap it all up with Lum and Abner. That's all coming up on this Sunday. This is the 29th day of June, 180th day of the year, and we have 185 days remaining in 2025. So we're almost halfway through this year. Now, it was on this date in 1954, one of the architects of the Manhattan Project, J. Robert Oppenheimer, had his access pulled and was essentially discharged from the Atomic Energy Commission.
The trouble with secrecy is that it denies to the government itself the wisdom and the resources of the whole community, of the whole country. And the only way you can do this is to let almost anyone say what he thinks, and to let men deny what they think is false, argue what they think is false. You have to have a free and uncorrupted communication.
Oppenheimer speaking on the CBS program See It Now in January of 1955. In 1956, the Federal Aid Highway Act signed, officially creating the United States Interstate Highway System.
Our interstate highway system was talked about for many years, but not started. Now we are building 41,000 miles of these great new avenues of commerce.
President Eisenhower at the bill signing ceremony, and it was really an idea to help move goods more efficiently and to allow many of the troop transports and many of the stuff for war to be moved through the U.S. better. Fortunately, we haven't needed it for that very often, but fortunately, we have that if we need it. It sadly cost a number of small towns their livelihoods. 1972, Supreme Court ruled in Furman versus Georgia the death penalty could constitute cruel and unusual punishment, prompting some states to revise their laws. 1995, the Space Shuttle Atlantis, the Russian space station Mir docked, forming the largest man-made satellite ever to orbit Earth up to that time. 2002, President George W. Bush chose to invoke 25th Amendment, temporarily transferring his powers to Vice President Dick Cheney while he underwent a colonoscopy. In 2003, we lost actress Katharine Hepburn.
Well, maybe we better sing. I can't give you any... Well, sing, David. I can't give you anything but love, baby. That's the only thing I can do. Oh, baby, dream a while, scheme a while, find happiness, and I guess all those things you always find. Oh, gee, looking swell, baby. Diamond bracelets always never sell, baby. Till that lucky day, you know darn well. Oh, baby. Baby. Oh, David, where is Owen?
I'll be back.
Oh, dear.
From the 1938 motion picture Bringing Up Baby with Cary Grant. Hepburn married to Spencer Tracy for over a quarter century until his death in 1967. Hepburn died of a tumor on this date in 2003. She was 96 years of age. On this date in 2006, the Supreme Court ruled President George W. Bush's plan to try Guantanamo Bay detainees in military tribunals violated U.S. and international law. In 2007, Apple released its first mobile phone. You might have heard of it, the iPhone.
We are calling it iPhone.
Steve Jobs, over 2.3 billion of those iPhones have been sold to date. In 2009, financier Bernie Madoff received a 150-year sentence for his multi-billion-dollar fraud. Former CBS News legal analyst Andrew Cohen said that meant he'd never get out.
This amounts to a life sentence for Bernard Madoff. It's in federal prison. There's no parole like you see in some states. There's no early release that we're going to see here.
And it was a life sentence. Madoff died in prison on April 14th of 2021. In 2010, talk show host Larry King announced he would step down from his CNN show in the autumn after 25 years on the air. A derecho show swept across the eastern U.S. on this date in 2012. Those straight-line winds left at least 22 people dead and millions without power. It was 3 years ago today, R. Kelly sentenced to 30 years in prison for using his R&B superstardom to subject young fans to sexual abuse. Accuser Lizette Martinez, one of several accusers to admit they never believed this day would arrive, and she was breathing a sigh of relief.
I'm grateful that Robert Sylvester Kelly is away, will stay away, and will not be able to harm anyone else.
Singer-songwriter convicted of racketeering and sex trafficking the previous year. Among others passing away on this date in history, poet Elizabeth Barrett Browning, How Do I Love Thee, Let Me Count the Ways. Actor Fatty Arbuckle, actress Jane Mansfield, boxer Primo Carnera, the delightful actor Bob Crane, Hogan's Heroes. Also actress Lana Turner, Rosemary Clooney, Carl Reiner, and Alan Arkin, the Academy Award winner, all passing away on this date in history. Birthdays of those who have already departed this mortal coil include the founder of the Mayo Clinic, Dr. William Mayo, singer and actor Nelson Eddy, When I'm Calling You. Also composer Leroy Anderson. A lot of wonderful music that he composed, probably the best of which you know is the typewriter. You know that. Composer Frank Lusser. Slim Pickens.
Well, boys, I reckon this is it. Nuclear combat toe-to-toe with the Ruskies.
Hey, what about Major Kong?
From the 1964 motion picture Dr. Strangelove, Slim Pickens, born on this date in history. She starred in Pete and Gladys with Harry Morgan. Cara Williams, born on this date in history. Singer Little Eva, born on this date as well. And passing away last year, the very, very funny Richard Lewis. All birthdays on this date in history.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
The bizarre Gary Busey, who actually was a great actor a lot of his lifetime, and he was also a fine singer. The Buddy Holly Story, he sang a lot of the music in there. Gary Busey, 81 today. From The Love Boat, Fred Grandy, celebrating a birthday today. I mean, did you know Gopher was a politician? He was an Iowa congressman. Fred Grandy, 77 today. From Men at Work, Colin Hay is 72. Now, here's a weird one. In the movie Weird Science, he played Wyatt Donnelly. He got out of acting, got a degree, became an associate professor in English at Cal State Long Beach, and then in 2017, he guest starred in the 5th season premiere of ABC's The Goldbergs. He played science teacher Mr. Connolly. The episode was entitled Weird Science. It was based on the movie. Series character Barry Goldberg believed he could make a girlfriend the same way they did in the movie. Yeah, we're talking about Ian Mitchell Smith, 56 years old today. Okay, so he had a little acting gig, but primarily he's an English professor now. From the Pussycat Dolls, Nicole Scherzinger is 47. From Weekend Update on SNL, the funny Colin Jost is 43.
The airline industry is testing a virus-killing robot that uses ultraviolet light to disinfect planes. Not to be outdone, Spirit Airlines just taped a glow stick to a Roomba.
I thought he did comedy. No, they did. They glued a glow stick to a Roomba. Colin Jost is 43 today. From Fear the Walking Dead, he was Chris Manawa on that. Lorenzo James Hendry is 32. And from CW's Riverdale, Veronica, Camila Mendez is 31. Those just a few of the people celebrating the 29th day of June as their birthday. If this is your birthday...
Hi, we're the 4 freshmen, and we just want to say, Happy birthday to you!
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we go back 82 years. June 29th, 1943. Arch Oboler's Lights Out and the Bathysphere.
Our religious institutions are strongholds of the American way of life. Our country was founded by men who had faith in God and who were willing to endure hardship and sacrifice for the sake of that faith. Today, the religious institutions in your community need your interest and support, so take an active part in religious affairs. Your pastor, rabbi, or priest will give you invaluable family counsel and aid if you are a newcomer to the community. To face the problems of the future, America must be morally strong. And that moral strength comes through worship and faith. Go to church this week and take someone with you.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, an episode of Lights Out from 82 years ago. June 29th, 1943. A World War II show and a World War II type of show, Bathysphere.
Arch Oboler's Lights Out, everybody. It is later than you think.
This is Arch Oboler bringing you another in our series of stories of the unusual. And once again, we caution you, these lights-out stories are definitely not for the timid soul. So we tell you calmly and very sincerely, if you frighten easily, turn off your radio now. November of 1939. Astronomically, that isn't even a blink in the eye of the universe, but It's a very long time measured in the length of our own very ephemeral lives. On that day, I aired our next story. Remember that date, 1939. A lot of heartbeats before we went to war against the madness of Adolf Hitler and his friend Benito. Listen to Bathysphere.
The sea is very quiet.
Yes, Your Excellency.
Will it be very quiet under the water?
No motion, Your Excellency.
I'm sure it'll all be very amusing.
I hope so, sir. The captain ought to have everything ready by now, sir. If you'll excuse me now, Your Excellency, I'll go see.
No, just a moment, Doctor.
Yes, Your Excellency?
You're much too impatient, my dear young friend. One of the great joys of an experience is to savor it before it happens. Yes, stay and talk to me.
As you say, Your Excellency.
How far under will we have to go to break the record?
Over half a mile.
Uh-huh. How far's the bottom?
Just over the record mark.
Deeper than any man's ever gone. It'll all be very amusing. Suddenly the wind's changed.
Always at this hour of the day, Your Excellency. It's time to go.
I assure you that the sea will wait for us.
But I only thought that...
Don't think so much, my young friend. Thinking is an unnecessary pastime. The emotions are much more dependable. My thoughts tell me that this little excursion under the sea will be quite precarious. On the other hand, my emotions tell me that it will be most interesting and amusing.
Your Excellency, we are ready.
Now, Captain, you too are impatient, huh?
I don't know what you mean. That is to say...
No, don't splutter. Now, come ahead, my young and impatient friend. We'll go aboard your diving bell and begin our little adventure. Come.
Attention! You see, Your Excellency, we are quite ready.
Well, Doctor, is everything to your satisfaction?
Did you put in an extra oxygen tank, Captain?
Yes, sir. Everything just as you said, Doctor.
The telephone communication been tested?
20 times.
Searchlight?
I assure you everything has been tested, Doctor.
The winch goes smoothly now.
Why, yes, I believe...
I don't want you to believe. I want you to know.
But I assure you...
Go and test it at once.
Yes, Doctor. At once, Doctor.
All right, men. Test number one. Aye, aye, sir. Aye, aye. Test number one. Slowly. Slowly there.
Well, your thoroughness is most commendable, Doctor.
We are going half a mile below the sea, sir. Nothing can be left to chance. The pressures down there are almost beyond imagination.
Yes, I know.
Particularly on this dive, everything must be perfection.
You mean the record?
I mean, Your Excellency, that your life is precious to the state.
Yes. The press of the world has known me only as a record breaker in the world of what they so quaintly term power politics. By nightfall, they'll herald me as a record breaker in the world of science, eh, Doctor?
If all goes well, Your Excellency.
If? You have doubts?
No one can predict the ways of the sea.
What are you talking about? You'll be quite apart from the sea inside of this steel ball, this bathysphere. Oxygen to breathe, telephones with which to communicate, lights with which to see. Why should there be any question?
Question of the human factor, Your Excellency.
You're as cautious as they said. I like that. I, too, am a cautious man. Oh, yes, indeed. My success has been based upon determining that the unpredictable cannot occur before shall I say, embark upon my bold adventure. I'm talking quite frankly with you, eh, Doctor? Well, it pleases me to do so. For a few hours, we'll be locked up in that steel ball. There's no reason you shouldn't know a little about your leader, is there?
You honor me, sir.
For example, I know beyond the shadow of a doubt the steel cable which will drop us down beneath the ocean has strength enough to hold 50 such steel spheres as the one we'll be in. I know, too, that you've made 30 such descents towards the floor of the ocean without the slightest misadventure. The men on this cruiser, they are specially trained for the work. And with my life in their hands, I'm sure they'll be particularly careful on this descent. Eh, Doctor?
There is no doubt of it, sir.
All ready now, sir.
Shall we go now, Your Excellency?
Yes, of course.
Careful, Your Excellency. The deck is quite wet here.
Well, thank you, Captain. Very thoughtful.
Thank you, sir. Attention!
No formalities. Let the men go about their business so we can get started.
Yes, Your Excellency. At your work, men.
All right.
Would you like to get into the Bathysphere first, Your Excellency?
No, after you. Quite a small doorway, isn't it? How fortunate we're both small, lean men, Doctor. Lean men. Caesar once said something about that sort, didn't he?
I don't know much about that sort of thing, sir.
No, I didn't imagine, sir. Get in, Doctor. I'll follow you.
Yes, sir.
Head first into the steel wall. Quite without dignity, eh, Captain? Shall I help you, sir? No, I'll make it all right. You ready for me, Doctor?
Come ahead, sir. And now, careful of the bolt end, sir.
Careful. That does it.
You're all right, sir?
Yes, of course I am. Well, what are we waiting for?
Captain.
Aye, sir.
Close her up.
Aye, sir.
Your ears. Cover your ears, sir.
Huh?
The bolts and wing bolts that hold the door shut, they have to be tightened by hammering with a sledge. Cover your ears, sir. Now, so they've done.
But what an infernal din. Wasn't there any other way?
Hammering is the only definite guarantee of a watertight seal, sir.
My ears.
All well in there, sir?
What's that?
A voice for the telephone, sir. They'll communicate with us from the deck every 3 minutes. If one of us doesn't answer within half a minute, the orders are to pull us up.
An excellent safety precaution. Yes, indeed.
All well in there, Doctor?
All well.
We're moving.
Yes. Lifting us out to the end of the boom, and then down we go. Look, sir, you can see the deck down there through the windows.
Glass so clear.
Clearest in the world. Quartz glass to stand the pressure.
Letting us down in the water, aren't they?
Yes, sir, in a moment.
We're under.
Yes, I turn the oxygen higher.
The light. So green.
Yes. Soon it'll be blue. Then a darker blue until at around 2,000 feet we'll be in a darkness that goes beyond dark. Complete, eternal night.
Eternal night under the water. How amusing.
All well down there, sir?
All well.
How far down are we?
About 1,100 feet, sir.
It's hard to believe it.
There is almost a quarter of a mile of water crushing down upon us.
The word crushing is most inappropriate at this time, my young friend.
My apologies, Your Excellency.
I've been watching the water. You said it would be at night. Yet it isn't black, it's blue. Strangest blue.
A few more 100 feet and there will be no more color in the water, sir.
The light out there. What?
I can't quite make it out, sir. Perhaps some sort of a luminous plankton.
It's amusing. The fishes carrying along their own electric plants.
The dark's alive with them, sir. Oh, look, sir.
What?
That small flat fish. You see, even his teeth gleam with the luminous mucus. I've caught that sort in the trawls. They can eat organisms as large as they are. Wait, I'll turn on the searchlight and you'll see.
No, never mind. I didn't come under the sea out of any interest in those bits of fish.
As you say, sir.
They'll light up like a train in the dark. Or would the portholes of a boat be a more appropriate figure of speech? Well, seen one, seen them all.
All well down there, sir?
All well.
How far down now? Ask him.
How far?
1,350 feet.
Right.
You make good time, huh?
Yes, sir. They lowered us very quickly, sir.
A 6-foot ball containing a very earnest young man and the leader of the state. Headed for... What should we say, Doctor?
A new record, sir.
Is that as far as your imagination carries you?
At the moment, I cannot say, Your Excellency.
Well, perhaps when we reach the end of the cable, we'll discuss life and death very profoundly, eh, my friend? Philosophy under the sea. Yes.
All well down there, sir?
All well.
2,200 feet.
Right.
How much further?
We've 4,000 feet of cable, sir.
You were right. There's a darkness out there now that's darker than any night that man has ever seen. It's amusing.
All well down there, sir?
All well.
2,800 feet, sir.
Right. Your Excellency.
Yes?
In 10 or 11 minutes, we will have broken the record. You keep your eyes so close to that window. Might I ask why?
I thought I saw something out there.
What, sir?
Something huge. It gave off a pale green light and then was gone so quickly I'm not quite sure.
I'll turn on the switch.
No. No, this infernal darkness amuses me. Tell me, Doctor, in your other trips, have you seen anything out there? Vague, huge, you know what I mean.
Yes, sir. Several times.
Well?
Shadowy and indistinct. I couldn't say what, sir.
Can't you guess?
I have no answers.
All well down there, sir?
Oh, tell him yes, and stop annoying us.
All well, and John
Captain's compliments, sir. You've reached 3,028 feet, sir.
That was Beebe's record.
Huh?
The old one.
3,030.
Broken it.
3,100.
Doctor, that's quite enough.
3,150.
Doctor, did you hear me? Broken the record on a few feet to spare. Order them to hold us up.
3,200.
Doctor, you out of your head? I gave you orders. Have them pull us up. I've had enough of this. I tell you that What happened?
Happened? We just landed at the bottom of the sea, that's all.
Why did you ignore my orders? I said to go up. What are you doing now? What was that lever that you threw? Answer me.
Yes, I'll answer.
Haven't you forgotten something, Doctor?
What?
To say, sir, Your Excellency.
Excellency? Here at the bottom of the sea?
What's happened to you? All of a sudden you... the excitement of creating a new record, a little too much for you, eh, my young friend? Well, it's understandable. Now signal the ships and have them draw us up. Your little adventure is over. Didn't you hear me? I said signal the ship.
How?
You out of your mind completely. Telephone them. At once, you hear me?
The telephone consists of a carbon transmitter, receiver, actuating battery, and connecting wire. We have no telephone.
Get to one side. Hello. Hello up there. Hello. Hello, answer me. Hello. Hello, blast you, answer me. Hello. But they don't...
The wire's torn loose. Would you know how to fix it, Your Excellency?
What? Oh, I see it. Happened when we bumped on the bottom, didn't it? Well, can't you fix it?
I can, but I won't, Your Excellency.
What is this?
taken you a great number of moments longer than I expected to ask that question. You notice that I've called you Your Excellency a couple of times, but that was the end of that. From now on, I will call you Your Infernal Excellency.
How amusing.
Still amusing.
Yes.
I don't believe it. You think it's some kind of madness on my part, but you'll do something about it.
Not I, you.
I?
You have an emergency way of signaling. Yes, I know you have. You flashed the searchlight on and off 3 times, and the flow of current registers up on deck. And they know that it's an emergency. I'll go ahead and do it, and perhaps I'll forget your little... shall we call it... joke?
I am quite content to stay down here.
Turn on the searchlight. All right, I'll do it myself.
Why waste your time? You've so little of it left.
What do you mean by that?
The searchlight, too, is disconnected.
Why?
There's no need of it. It will be best to die in the dark.
Die?
Yes.
This is impossible. I investigated you, your record, your family, your associates. Clearest record in the state. You have no reason in the world to kill me. Kill me? It's really funny. A young, empty-headed fool killed me. It's very amusing.
You'll be afraid soon.
Is it possible that you've forgotten the final emergency signal, you fool? Yes, I said signal. The signal of silence. I'll try the telephone as scheduled, and when we don't answer, they'll pull us up. Have you forgotten that?
It's been more than 3 minutes since the last signal. If what you say is true, why aren't we moving?
We are. For all I know, we are.
Are we?
The darkness, who can tell if there's enough motion?
You know we're motionless. As quiet as in a tomb. Appropriate, that. And we'll stay here. I know that.
Huh?
That lever up on the roof that I pulled.
Well?
It threw the end of the steel cable free. Yes, severed the cord between ourselves and the ship and the world.
No.
We are here, Your Infernal Excellency. Down here to stay.
No. You lie. I don't believe you. They'll pull us up. The telephone, here. Here, you up there, listen. Get me up. Get me up. You up there, hear me. It's your leader. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. You hear me? Get me out of here. Out of here. Out of here.
Oxygen left for another hour, and it takes you 10 precious minutes of your precious life to believe. You do believe you're going to die now, don't you?
But I'm sure nothing could happen. Every detail of the machinery, the record of every member of the crew.
And I was one of those who was perfectly harmless, eh?
Yes, you're past. Since a boy trained in the schools of the state. Your father an official. Why do you do this to me? Why?
Your ego is so great that even now, knowing you're going to die here with me, you're less concerned with death than you are with knowing wherein you failed.
Answer me, why do you do this? You were trained in my schools, brought up to think the way you should think. Who up there made you do this thing, and why?
It will be a slow death. As slow as the death of my country.
Answer me, who and why?
Your mouth will bite for air, and there won't be enough to let you live, and yet there'll be enough so that you won't quite die.
You'll tell me you will.
Your lungs will reach up through your mouth, a breath of air, just another. There won't be another. And as you die, you'll know it.
I want to know one thing. Why do you do this?
Why? Yes, I'll give you your whys. You trained me in your schools. And from morning to night, what went into my head was only what you decreed was right and proper for a good citizen of your eternal state to know. Yes, you crammed my head full. But there's one place you and your books and your speeches couldn't reach. My heart.
Your heart?
Yes, heart. You heard me, heart. My head said believe. My heart said no. My head said obey. My heart said no. That's where you made your mistake, you devil. You didn't start in young enough with me. For the heart that was born inside of me has brought you here to die.
Die. I don't understand.
Wait, I'll turn a little more oxygen on. That'll give me a little more strength to keep on telling you your whys and cut the breaths left for you after I'm finished. What was I saying? Yes, that you didn't condition me quite well enough. Should have started with the embryo, for somewhere along the line a little humanity got inside of me that cried out against what you were doing. It grew and grew until it said you had to die. And you will die. Yes, here in the black under the sea. And they won't roll drums for you, march for you. End it here. What have you to say to that?
You
Fool? Is that all you answer?
Yes, fool.
You think I'm a fool to die here with you? You call me a fool when I know that ending here I give a new beginning to those up there.
Yes, such a fool.
Oh, stop saying that. They won't say it back in the cities when they know that they're free.
You fool. You think that freeing them of me will make them free?
Yes, of course it will.
I call you fool again. How do you think I became the head of the state? Through my great wisdom? I'm really not so wise. Through my great courage? No man has courage of that sort to stand up single-handed against the bullets and the bayonets of the entrenched powers. And how? How did I do it?
With lies and ruthlessness and cruelty, I know.
You don't know a thing. You saw the end result surrounded by pomp and circumstance, and you couldn't see the means. All right, I know I'm going to die. When a man is expected to die as long as I have, the actuality isn't quite as frightening as you might think. Since I am going to die, I'll have the one small satisfaction of showing you that you're an empty-headed fool.
Stop saying that.
Oh, you too have an ego. Apparently it's lived for weeks on how you'd make me plead and beg and squirm down on my knees. I had a few moments of hysteria, didn't I? You like that. But you don't like this. My sitting in the dark so calmly telling you that you're a fool.
I haven't failed. You're here.
You failed because if you're killing me and yourself to give them back their freedom, whatever that word means, you're dying quite in vain.
You're saying that because you think...
No, don't talk. Listen to me. I'll tell you where you failed. I came into power not alone through my own strength, but because the conditions of our country were such that other men sitting on their wealth came to the decision that I alone could keep them there.
But it was you...
I tell you, listen. When an ancient rule of privilege is threatened, it seeks to live no matter what the cost. The cost to them was me, and they found me worth it. For I threw to the mass none of the wealth they'd worked to build, but only fighting phrases of prejudice and hate that cost the men who made me nothing but the rent of the halls for the simple to hear my opiates. And so I call you fool. Fool to die and fool to kill me. Well, the conditions that made me will still exist when I'm dead. You free them of me. But what of hunger? What of ruthless exploitation? These will still be free up there to put hate and desperation into men. And so the ones who gave me power will find a new leader to stop the rumblings of rebellion with all the tricks that I taught them. A new leader. You hear me, fool? A new leader.
No, it isn't true. It can't be true.
So dark. If I could see your face, to see the fool discovering he's a fool.
They will be free. They will.
What magic do you think will come into the air when I'm dead? Will men forget their greed and say, oh, we've quite enough. That's enough for everyone. Let each share according to his needs. No, fool. With me or without me, the game will be played just as it always has been played. So you're a fool and die like one.
Well, what could I have done? I had to do something.
I'll tell you what you could have done. You could have done the one thing that would have in time helped destroy not only me, but those who made me. You could have gone to the people.
What?
Yes, walked among them, worked among them. And at every chance whispered to them the things I kept from them. A noose would have been around your neck every time you opened up your mouth. And yet, in that talking of liberty and freedom and common decency and all the rest of that sort of thing, there'd have been far more meaning in this futile murdering of me. I've had them hunted down and shot, each of those who dared to whisper among the people. But as they died, I didn't call them fools, because I knew that they were wise. That only through the will to live and do of the great bludgeoning mass of their people was their hope of making that new world they wanted. Oh, why have I bothered talking? Hand me something heavy, fool.
Why?
Why? More explanations? All right, the last one. You think I'm going to sit here and wait and count my every breath until the dark's crawling with horrors and I'm No. I'll end it now, quickly. Here's faster than a bullet shot. Give me something heavy, I tell you. I'll smash the glass. The water, tons of it, smashing in. I'll be dead, faster than the thought, and that'll end it. Give me something to smash the glass, or I'll...
There, sir? All well down there, sir?
Voice. Telephone.
All well. Take us up.
We're moving. There's water on the glass. We're moving. Doctor, the cable.
I lied.
But all this time, why?
My orders to the crew were to leave us alone on the bottom as soon as the slackening of the wire showed them we'd hit the bottom.
Telephone.
I reconnected it while you talked.
Then, you didn't really mean to kill me.
Kill you? Yes, I meant to kill you. Had it all planned out. Tell you what I told you, and then you'd go quite crazy with fear. And after that, I'd kill you.
2,900 feet. All well down there, sir?
All well.
And yet you didn't.
The lights of the creatures out there. Blinking of stars on a cold night.
Why didn't you kill me? I want to know.
What would have been the good of it? A fool and a figurehead die together. No good of it.
So you believed me?
Even a fool can understand futility.
The water's getting lighter. Soon we'll be back. Up there. It'll be very strange at first.
I don't much care now, yet I'll ask. What happens to me?
You? I told you many things down there, didn't I? Yes, too many things. A man in doubt as I was talks too much. And since you of necessity heard what I said, when we get there, I will probably have you shot. The victim sentences his murderer. It will be most amusing.
"82 years ago, June 29th, 1943, Lights Out" on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Coming up next, we move from World War to Cold War. Herbert Marshall as the Man Called X.
You know, this is still the season for carefree holidays and vacations. But don't be carefree on the highway. With roads jammed with traffic, this is the time to be extra careful when driving. When you plan a trip, be sure to allow plenty of time so that you won't be forced to drive too fast or too long. When you get tired at the wheel, you lose your skill and your judgment. So don't drive too many hours at a stretch. Plan your trip so that you can stop frequently and get plenty of rest. And when you start that trip, resolve that you're going to obey traffic laws and regulations. Don't gamble with safety. Remember, the life you save may be your own.
And now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, Herbert Marshall, The Man Called X, from 74 years ago, June 29th, 1951.
Now we present Herbert Marshall as The Man Called X, the Friday night feature on NBC's 5-show festival of comedy, music, mystery, and drama. Brought to you by Chesterfield, always milder, better tasting, cooler smoking, plus no unpleasant aftertaste. by the makers of Anacin for fast relief from pain of headache, neuritis, neuralgia. And by RCA Victor, world leader in radio, first in recorded music, first in television. Herbert Marshall as the man called X. Wherever there is mystery, intrigue, romance, in all the strange and dangerous places of the world, there you will find the man called X.
Science discovered it. You can prove it. No unpleasant aftertaste when you smoke Chesterfields, the biggest plus in cigarette history. Science discovered this fact. Of all cigarettes tested, Chesterfield, and only Chesterfield, leaves no unpleasant aftertaste. You can prove it. Smoke a pack of Chesterfields. They're always milder, better tasting, cooler smoking. And Chesterfield is the cigarette that leaves no unpleasant aftertaste. That's the biggest plus in cigarette history. Science discovered it. You can prove it. Buy Chesterfields today.
The startling news stunned official Washington. If true, it meant the destruction of 2 full years of top-secret diplomatic and military work, that the entire fate of Western Europe was trembling on the brink of destruction. But an hour after the discovery was made, when a telephone rang in a suite at the Hotel Vendôme in Paris, the man who answered it had no foreboding of the responsibility that was about to be his.
Hello?
That you, Thurston?
That's right, who's there?
Slade, at the American Embassy. Can you and the chief get over here?
What's up, Slade?
Operation Zero.
We'll be right there.
But that's incredible, Slade.
Incredible or not, Chief, 2 of the boys in Washington, our #1 experts on Operation Zero, have disappeared off the face of the earth. And we've got to find them again before it's too late. Before they wind up in Moscow.
Who are they, Slade?
James Everest, David McDonald.
McDonald?
That's right.
He's an old friend of yours, isn't he, Ken?
Yes, Chief, and there's one thing I'd bet my life on. David McDonald's no traitor.
Well, that's not what the facts say, Thurston.
What do they say?
McDonald and Everest left Washington en route to London. They were going to clean up the last unfinished details on Operation Zero, the Atlantic Defense Pact plans for defending Europe in the event of unprovoked aggression.
So?
So they never arrived. They left the plane at Shannon Island. Haven't been seen since.
When was that, Slade?
12 hours ago. If they're not taking the plans to Russia, we've got nothing to worry about. But if they are, well, we've got to find out.
Yeah. But how? They've got a 12-hour start. They could enter Russian territory anywhere from the Baltic to the Adriatic Sea.
I think we can narrow it down, Chief. MacDonald has a small chalet in France, at Montigny. He spends his summer vacations there.
I'm afraid your friend MacDonald's not on a vacation trip this time, Thurston.
Nor is Marshal Petrov.
Petrov? The Politburo's military commander?
Yeah. We heard yesterday that he just arrived in Berlin, remember?
Well, what's that got to do with this? With MacDonald and Everest taking the plans of Operation Zero to Moscow?
Suppose I let you know, Slade. From Montigny, France.
Hello there.
Well, hello.
Why so surprised? You knocked, didn't you?
Yes, but I wasn't expecting to find you here, Miss...
I'm Anna Werner.
Miss Werner?
And if you weren't expecting me, then who?
Well, this chalet belongs to a man named David MacDonald, or didn't you know?
Oh, sure, but it's a cinch MacDonald wouldn't be in Montigny now.
Why not?
Do I really have to tell you, Mr. X?
Huh?
Surprise number 2?
Frankly, yes.
Well, good. It's always easier for me to work on a guy who's a little off balance.
Just what kind of work did you have in mind?
Oh, I've got lots of answers for that one. Suppose we talk them over inside, Maybe I can come up with another surprise or 2.
I'll bet you can. Okay. What about those answers?
Well, I'm a freelance newspaper girl, and I got a tip in Paris that MacDonald might be wearing a red wolf skin under his sheep's clothing with Operation Zero in one of the pockets. So I came down here to check.
What have you found?
You. MacDonald's private hangar out at the airport, empty. That makes the tip sound 24 karat. You don't like the story,
Should I?
Well, sure, we're going to work together. And they tell me at the airport that Mac's got a 4-hour start on us. We better get going.
Not we, Miss Werner.
Oh, okay. I'll stick around for a while. I've got a hunch. I wonder.
I'll let you know.
Yes, do that little thing.
Well,
this is Mr. Pagan Zellschmidt speaking. I'd like to talk to Mr. Thurston, please.
Pagan.
That's right. Pagan Zellschmidt speaking. I'd like to... Oh, it's you. Hello, Mr. Thurston.
Where the devil are you? What do you want?
Boy, have I ever got hot stuff news for you, Mr. X. A real scoop on that MacDonald guy. Believe me, this'll knock your head off. Ready? Hey, what happened there, Mr. X?
Sorry, but I did promise you another surprise, didn't I?
Hey.
Mr. X.
Mr. Thurston, do you hear me? What happened? Hey, Mr. X.
Wake up, Mr. X. Please wake up. Oh, why do you have to stay subconscious like that? Wake up.
What's the Pagan?
That's right, Mr. X. That's right. Boy, what happened to you anyways?
The girl, where's she?
A girl? You mean a girl slugged you like that? What was she, a female wrestler?
Oh, never mind. How'd you get here? Last thing I remember was talking to you on the phone.
Oh, that was from the airport. When I heard something funny over the telephone, I beat it right out here.
All right, Pagan. What was that red-hot news you were talking about?
The chief sent me after you with it. It's about that big-shot Russian military guy, Marshall...
Petrov?
That's him, that's right. The chief said to tell you that Petrov left Berlin on an aeroplane trip a little while ago. He didn't know where to, but it was someplace southwestern Germany.
Southwestern Germany?
That's right. I told you I had really... Does that mean something?
Could mean that MacDonald and Everest are heading for the Russian zone of Germany. And Petrov's intending to meet him.
So what? There's hundreds of miles of borders to the Russian zone. You could be meeting them anywhere.
That's right, but I've a hunch that 3 people know where he is. Know where it is. Everest, MacDonald, and a girl named Anna Werner.
Mademoiselle Werner? Oui, monsieur. The lovely mademoiselle departed from this airport in a chartered plane not 10 minutes ago.
Did she file a flight plan?
Pardon, monsieur?
Or did she tell you where she was going?
Oh, mais oui. Her destination was Le Havre.
Le Havre?
But that's not in Germany, Mr. Thurston. It's on the British Channel or something.
You sure that's where she said she was going?
Mais certainement, monsieur. I remember most distinctly. A very stubborn young lady, mademoiselle. I warned her that she could never succeed in reaching there.
Why not?
There was not enough fuel in the airplane, monsieur. That is why not. At the most, she could fly but 300 kilometers. But she would not listen. A most stubborn young lady. She will never arrive at Le Havre.
I see, but if you'll get me a flight map of Western Europe and a pair of dividers, I think I can show you where she will arrive. There it is, Sonneberg, Germany. The only town in the Russian zone within a radius of 300 kilometers.
And that's where you think she's going, Mr. Thurston, eh? Following those MacDonald and Everest characters?
It's the nearest Russian territory, and it's directly southwest of Berlin.
Hey, that's the direction Marshal Petrov was flying. It really figures, eh, Mr. X?
Worth finding out.
Huh? Oh, but we can't go flying behind iron curtains, Mr. X. They'd shoot us down like clay ducks. If you don't believe me, ask Grisha.
Who's Grisha?
A cousin of mine. He lives in Neustadt, in the American zone, right across the border from Sonnenberg.
Good. Let's pay him a visit.
Sure. Huh? What for?
Well, he's a Zellschmidt, isn't he?
So what's got that to do with it?
Pagan, don't you know you can always depend on a Zellschmidt?
Yeah.
But I'm operating a strictly legitimate business, Herr Thurston. I don't know how to smuggle people across the border into Sonneberg.
You sure, Grisha?
I swear it by the father of my father, Herr Thurston.
He's a liar, all right. That proves it.
Pagan, you wound me deeply, my beloved cousin. What I say is true. Smuggling watches, American cigarettes, coffee into Sonneberg. I do these things, yes. But people, never.
Strictly legitimate business.
Yes,
oh, sure.
Exactly. I'm afraid there is nothing I can do for you, my friend.
Too bad. I thought that this, might...
Hey, that's money you're showing.
That? Let me see. 20, 40, 50. Do you know something, Herr Thurston? I've just gone into another business, strictly illegitimate. Well, there is the farmhouse, Herr Thurston. The two men who arrived in Neustadt just before you did are in there now.
Thanks, Grisha. Wait here. Come, Pagan.
You think those two men are MacDonald and Everest?
It figures. Those pillboxes a couple of 100 yards down the road are the entrance to the Russian zone. They'll probably wait until it's dark and then make a break for it.
So why don't we call in the police or the APs or something? Hey, that car coming from the farmhouse, it's heading right
off the road, Pagan. Fast, off the road.
Hey, what's the matter with those jokers? They tried to run us down.
Everest and MacDonald, heading for the Russian zone. Come on. Let me have the wheel, Grisha.
But
let me have it.
What are you doing now?
I'm going to try and stop that car before it reaches the border.
But the Russian guards, Herr Thurston, they'll never allow you to do that.
Got to force that car off the road before they can stop us.
You know something, Mr. X? They stopped us.
Yeah, looks like MacDonald and Everest made the Russian zone. With Operation Zero.
We'll continue with The Man Called X in just a moment. Every day, you hear more and more about an incredibly fast way to relieve the pains of headache, neuritis, and neuralgia. It's Anacin, A-N-A-C-I-N. Now, the reason Anacin is so wonderfully fast-acting and effective is this. Anacin is like a doctor's prescription. That is, Anacin contains not just one, but a combination of medically proven active ingredients in easy-to-take tablet form. Thousands of people have received envelopes containing Anacin tablets from their own dentist or physician, and in this way discovered the incredibly fast relief Anacin brings from pains of headache, neuritis, or neuralgia. So the next time a headache strikes, take Anacin, A-N-A-C-I-N. Anacin in handy boxes of 12 and 30, economical family-size bottles of 50 and 100. Ask for Anacin at any drug counter. Now, Act Two of The Man Called X, starring Herbert Marshall with Leon Velasco as Pagan Zellschmidt. Two of the top men in Washington have mysteriously disappeared. Ken Thurston, the Man Called X, has trailed them to Neustadt, Germany, in an effort to determine if they're carrying the Atlantic Pact defense plans into the hands of the Russians. But his attempt to stop them from crossing the border has been halted by the chattering burp guns of the Russian border guards.
So they made it, Ken.
Looks like it, Chief.
Oh, it's too bad. Well, there's nothing we can do about those plans now.
I'm not too sure about that.
What do you mean?
Marshal Petrov flew down to meet him, all right. Pagan's cousin, Grisha, verified that for us.
Well, what of it?
I've a hunch Petrov will fly them to his headquarters in Berlin instead of direct to Moscow. He'll want the honor of taking those plans to the Kremlin himself.
Could be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad someone can't get into the Russian zone before he gets the plans from MacDonald and Everest.
I see what you mean. Of course, there's nothing we can do about it officially.
Oh, of course not. No. And with all the dope the Bureau must have on Petrov's headquarters, too.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But the fact that we know Petrov's got a secret suite on the 12th floor of the Felserhof Hotel, that isn't a bit of help to anyone under the circumstances.
Not a bit. And we probably know where to get some inside help at the Felserhof, too.
Yeah, but even if we do know that the assistant manager there, Vladimir Grigorsky, has been very helpful cooperating with G2, so what?
Yep. Well, looks like I better get back to Paris.
Yeah, looks like it, Kim.
You don't mind if I take my time, dear Chief? Look around the country a bit first?
Oh, no, not at all. No, you've got a vacation coming. Take your time. Take plenty of time.
Thanks, Chief, I will. Be seeing you.
Oh.
Hello, Miss Werner.
Oh, well, fancy meeting you here, Mr. Thurston.
How'd
and
you
in
find
a phone booth of all things.
How did you like the eavesdropping?
Oh, it was excellent. These phone booth walls are paper thin.
Yeah.
And how lucky for you.
Is it?
Yes. You see, I am your only hope of getting to Berlin in time. Or didn't you know your plane had been sabotaged?
No, I didn't, but there'll be others.
Oh, I'm afraid not. I made it my business to be sure that no others were available.
You're a busy little bee, aren't you?
Well, that's how bees make honey. And I expect to make a good deal of honey syndicating this yarn when it's all over.
So you're still trying to play newspaper woman?
Of course.
Wasn't that tap on the head you gave me a little out of character?
Not at all. You were obviously determined not to let me go along with you, and I was just as determined to get the story. Even if I had to... What's the cliché? Go to any lengths to get it?
And you expect me to believe that, too?
I'm afraid you'll have to, Mr. X. If you expect to get to Berlin on time. Well?
Okay, Anna, let's go.
Look, Mr. X, so that cookie Anna flew us into Berlin. That don't mean we have to go into the Russian zone with her.
We are not pagan.
Well, that's a relief.
We're going in alone.
Oh, sure, that's the ticket. We're going... Alone?
Yeah, we got some business with the assistant manager of the Felserhof Hotel. Name of Vladimir Grigorsky.
I am certain that you will find these accommodations all that you desire, comrade. However, the tenants on this floor, particularly Marshal Petrov, are very sensitive to any form of disturbance. That's why I bring you up in the service elevator. You understand, comrade?
I understand, Comrade Grigorsky.
There, I was certain that you would. So, the 12th floor. This way, please. At the far end of this corridor is Marshal Petrov's private suite. This room is one he reserves for special guests. So, now I have done all that I can do, Mr. Thurston. I believe that the American MacDonald will come to this room. But here, one can be certain of nothing. From now on, your actions must be your own responsibility.
Thanks, Grigorsky. I'll take over from here.
One more thing. What about your man, Zelsmith? I can keep him hidden for perhaps an hour, but then the manager comes on duty.
Then an hour will have to be enough. If I'm not out of here by then, get Pagon back into the Allied zone. You'll phone what's happened to the chief.
Very well, Mr. Thurston. As you wish. I should like to say something, but what is there to say except perhaps good luck?
Hello, mate.
Ken!
That's right.
What the devil are you doing here?
You don't need an answer to that.
You're a fool.
What about the plans for Operation Zero, Mac?
You'll never get out of here alive.
What about those plans?
Should have known you'd follow me. Ken, I haven't got him. I didn't bring him with me. I couldn't. Swallowing their lying propaganda, getting sucked into their filthy, rotten scheme.
What happened?
It's the old story. Jim Everest sold me. I was to get copies of Operation Zero, and we'd take them to the Russians. Oh, yes, I was helping to be the savior of the entire world.
What changed your mind?
Everest and a couple of his comrades. The night we were to leave Washington, they couldn't help boasting, and... Well, I guess I woke up.
Too late then, wasn't it?
Sure, yeah, sure. If I tried to break away, they'd kill me, and Everest would still be in Washington building up another sucker. This way, at least, he's been tagged for what he is, and Operation Zero is safe.
Yeah? But what about you, Mac?
Well, what do you think? I've stalled Petrov so far, but I'm supposed to be getting the plans now. And when he learns that I haven't got him, well, it means curtains for Everest and me. But Ken, you've got to get out of here before he finds you.
Suppose we both take a crack at it. The service elevator's only a few feet down the corridor. Come on.
Ken, I tell you...
Come on.
Going somewhere, comrade.
Petrov!
If so, I would not advise it.
You'd better follow that advice, boys. Comrade Petrov's an awfully quick man on the trigger.
Well, Anna.
Another surprise, Ken?
No. You're obviously fighting a rearguard action for Everest. The only paper you could report for would be Pravda.
And quite a story it will make, too. Not only have we uncovered the traitor MacDonald, but we have captured the rarest of prizes as well. The man called X.
You haven't anyone yet, Petrov! Ken, run! Run while I...
You stupid fool. Did you actually believe that you
Let's
could...
have that gun, Petrov.
Let go!
Have it.
Let go! Thank you, Anna. My dear.
I told you were a fool, Ken. Look what it got you, coming after me.
Oh, things aren't too tough, Nick.
Are you kidding? Me with a bullet in my side and you with your shoulder in a sling, underarmed guard here at the Leninstrasse Hospital. How tough do things have to get?
Krogowski knows what went on at the hotel, but you didn't have Operation Zero with you. You'll send Pagon into the Allied zone with the news.
Okay, so you did your job. But the NKVD's going to pick us up today and take us to Moscow, and you know what that means?
They're not there yet. We've been in the hospital 24 hours. Chiefs have plenty of time to get to work on it.
Oh, sure. Sure, I suppose he's going to walk right in here and take us out. You hear that? It's the secret police. What can the chief do now?
Easy, Mac, easy.
Prisoners, we are from the NKVD. You are now in our custody. We have orders to transport you to Moscow.
Krogowski.
And look who else. Boy, I bet you're glad to see us, eh, Mr. X?
On your feet, prisoners. You have no time to waste. On your feet. Are you both able to walk, Mr. Thurston?
I'm okay. What about you, Mac?
I can walk over live coals, Ken, if it meant getting out of here.
It's a cinch. We got forged secret police papers, a private ambulance without waiting for downstairs. A cinch. I hope.
We shall have to hurry, Mr. Thurston. He may be discovered at any moment.
Oh, don't say things like that.
All right, let's go.
There is the ambulance now, Mr. Thurston.
Okay.
Wait. Ken, look. There, coming toward the ambulance entrance. It's Petrov.
Petrov?
What do we do?
We'll have to make a break for it. Come on.
You there! Why are you running? Stop those men! They are... Stop them!
Get in, all of you. Get in.
All right, Mr. Thurston, we are in.
Okay, here we go. How does it look back there?
They are still about a block behind, but gaining fast.
They'll catch us. They'll catch us.
They'll have to hurry, Pagon. There's the American zone dead ahead.
But look, wooden barricades. On guard. We cannot get through.
I wouldn't bet on that, Krogowski. Hang on to your hats.
We're gonna crash. We're gonna crash. what do you know? We made it.
Looks like it, Pagan. Not all of us, Mr. Thurston.
What? MacDonald?
Yes, he.
Oh, the poor guy.
Well, at least he died with a clean conscience, which is more than you can say for some others back home.
Others?
Yes. Traitors, saboteurs, trading in American lives. Wonder how they're going to feel when their time comes. How happy they'll be when they have to face their conscience and find it black and red.
Our star, Mr. Herbert Marshall, will return in just a moment. Here's a word from RCA Victor. If you own an RCA Victor television set, or if you're planning to buy one, the RCA Victor factory service contract is yours for the asking. You can be assured of top performance year after year from your RCA Victor receiver. And with RCA Victor's factory service contract, you get expert, prompt service. Replacement of any part or tube, including the picture tube, for 1 full year. And the best standard RCA antenna for your location. It's the only national service of its kind in television. A wonderful, practical buy. The RCA Victor Factory Service Contract. Attention electronic engineers. Right now, RCA has career openings for experienced engineers. If you're a qualified radio electronics engineer, RCA offers you lifelong opportunities. Just send a complete resume of your education and experience to Radio Corporation of America, Box 1, RCA Building, Radio City, New York. Your resume will be kept confidential. Now, here again is our star, Mr. Herbert Marshall.
Thanks for being with us. And my thanks to Will Wright, Mary Jane Croft, Stacey Harris, Ted Von Eltz, Harry Lang, Gerald Moore, and Stephen Garay. Next week, Algiers. The Casbah, no less, and a plot that I'd like to dare you to figure out right up to the end of the story. And I warn you, you won't get any help from Leon Belasco as Pagon Zellschmidt. So join us, won't you, when next I return as the Man Called X. Good night.
The Man Called X, starring Herbert Marshall, is the Friday night feature on NBC's 5-show festival of comedy, music, mystery, and drama. Brought to you by Chesterfield, always milder, better tasting, cooler smoking, plus no unpleasant aftertaste. By the makers of Anacin for fast relief from pain of headache, neuritis, neuralgia. And by RCA Victor, world leader in radio, first in recorded music, first in television. The Man Called X is a J. Richard Kennedy production with music by Milton Charles. Tonight's story was written by Sidney Marshall. All characters and incidents on this program are fictitious, and any resemblance to actual characters or incidents is purely coincidental. Be sure to hear The Magnificent Montague with Monty Woolley, formerly heard on Friday, now brought to you as a Saturday night feature of NBC's All-Star Festival. And until next week, same time and same station, this is Jack Latham saying good night for The Man Called X. William Bendix stars in The Life of Riley. Enjoy it on NBC.
Herbert Marshall, The Man Called X, from 74 years ago, June 29, 1951, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Coming up on our Monday program, we'll start the week with Chester Morris as Boston Blackie from 1944. A 1937 rendition of Calling All Cars, The Perfumed Cigarette Lighter. An episode of Escape, Bloodbath from 1950, and that episode stars Vincent Price. And a 1957 episode of the CBS Radio Workshop, Gettysburg. Mostly westerns on Tuesday with episodes of Gunsmoke and Fort Laramie from 1956. Roy Rogers from 1954, Y'all Come, and a 1950 program called Wanted. On Wednesday, the Encore Theater presentation of Men in White starring Robert Taylor. A 1935 rendition of Calling All Cars. Dana Andrews in I Was a Communist for the FBI, Where the Red Men Roam from 1952. and an episode of Night Watch, the real mean streets of Culver City, California. Then Thursday, more drama. Broadway is My Beat, starring Larry Thor from 1950, The Green Llama from 1949, Alan Ladd in Box 13 from 1949, and The Challenge of the Yukon, The Puppy. And Friday, we'll wrap up the week with The Adventures of Sam Spade, The Lives of Harry Lime, Murder by Experts, and The Skulking Permit, an episode of X-1. That's all coming up the next 5 days here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. But coming up next, Nick Carter, Master Detective.
Let's look ahead to 1966, and there you are in your beautiful new home. You've got automatic gadgets everywhere. There's a sparkling new dream car in your garage. The youngsters are in a fine college. All's right with the world. Is this just an idle dream? No, this is a real future that you can start building right now. A secure, carefree, prosperous future built with United States savings bonds. In 10 years, you'll get back $4 for every $3 you've invested. Join the payroll savings plan where you work or buy bonds where you bank. Start in 1956 to make 1966 the beginning of the golden years.
Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox continues now. We go to Mutual for an episode of Nick Carter, Master Detective, starring Lon Clark, 78 years ago, June 29, 1947, in the case of the Sunken Dollar.
Old Dutch Cleanser, famous for chasing dirt, presents Nick Carter, famous for chasing crime. Every week at this time, two great names are joined as Old Dutch Cleanser brings you one of the most resourceful and daring characters in all detective fiction, Nick Carter, Master Detective.
Nick, I don't understand this. Why did I have to get dressed up like a Bobby Soxer and meet you in front of this candy store? Hey, are you going to buy me a soda, huh?
No, Patsy. You're going to sell magazine subscriptions.
Sell magazines? Why?
To find a pair of killers.
Ladies, in case you missed last week's broadcast, here's the news again. Old Dutch Cleanser's popular silverware offer is back. Now you can get 4 beautiful William A. Rogers A1 Plus quality teaspoons made and guaranteed by Oneida Limited in the lovely Croydon pattern. These teaspoons are pure silver plate, reinforced at wear points, and have a retail value of $4 a dozen. But you can get 4 of them for just 60 cents and the windmill pictures from 2 Old Dutch labels. And then along with your William A. Rogers teaspoons, you'll get an illustrated folder telling how to build a complete silver service for your table, all at a marvelous bargain price. So send for your teaspoons now. Order as many units of 4 as you wish. Just be sure to enclose 2 windmill pictures and 60 cents in coin for each unit ordered. Mail with your name and address to Old Dutch Cleanser, Box U, Chicago 90, Illinois. That's Old Dutch Cleanser, Box U, Chicago 90, Illinois. Price is subject to change without notice. And now, the case of the Sunken Dollar. Today's adventure with Nick Carter, brought to you by Old Dutch Cleanser. At 5 o'clock Monday afternoon, a heavy-set man and a pretty red-headed girl walk down the twisted streets near Maiden Lane and enter the musty shop of Jason Grange, one of the biggest coin dealers in the East.
Mr. Grange? Mr. Grange, y'all here in the store?
Just 1 minute, please. Just 1 minute.
It's okay. We're the only ones here.
You clients give me a pain, that's what you do. A big, stiff pain. Always coming in at closing time. Never give a man a chance to have dinner. Now, what is it, please? What is it?
Isn't it the most cunning man in the whole world?
Huh?
I declare, Daddy told me you were cute, but I never dreamed the famous Mr. Grange would be like this. I got half a mind to give you a great old hug and a kiss.
No, Miss, please.
I'm Sally Ann Mason. You can call me Sally.
Mason? You're related to Colonel Mason of Memphis?
I'm his daughter, Mr. Grange.
Great collector, Colonel Mason. One of the best. So you're his daughter. Well. What are you doing in town?
Daddy sent me up to buy a coin from you, Mr. Grange.
He did, eh? Well, think of that.
He wants to buy the 1804 silver dollar.
Well, I never thought he'd get around to it. Price is $10,000, you know.
Yes. I brought the cash with me.
Cash?
Yes. This is Mr. Brown from the bank. He was sweet enough to chaperone me around the city. Show Mr. Grange the money, Mr. Brown.
Got it right here, Mr. Grange, in 500s. But if you don't mind, I've got the responsibility for this little girl. Could I ask why the coin she's buying is supposed to be worth 10,000?
Ah, you're interested, eh?
Of course.
Wait, I'll take it out of the safe. You can see for yourself.
Good.
In the year 1804, 19,000 silver dollars were minted, but only 3 are in existence today.
Oh, how's that?
Well, the reason is that the coins were shipped north by boat from the mint. And the boat was lost at sea.
Oh, that's
that
so.
makes the 1804 dollar one of the rarest American coins. And here it is.
I declare. Isn't it just too cunning for words? Okay, Louis.
Sure, Hazel. What's this? Well, Mary, I hope this is really urgent. You've interrupted 3 reports and a lab analysis with your hurry-up call.
Not to mention making me miss my dinner.
Nick, this is really a mess. Murder with assorted trimmings.
Oh?
Yeah. This is the body of Jason Grange, coin collector and dealer. Murdered about an hour ago. 3 bullets, dead center through the heart.
I see.
Well, what are the trimmings?
In the first place, Grange was shot with the craziest-looking bullets I ever saw.
Huh?
A medical examiner just extracted them. Here, take a look.
Conical slug with the point squared off.
Yeah, you know what it is?
Sure. The square-pointed 9mm Luger bullet, Matty. It's unusual in this country. What else?
Well, whoever murdered Jason Grange stole only one single coin.
What coin?
An antique silver dollar dated 1804, worth $10,000.
Oh, yes, the famous lost dollar. Most of them are supposed to have been lost by shipwreck. Well, how do you know the dollar was the only thing stolen, Matty?
Oh, we checked on that. Checked his stock against his inventory. The only thing we could find missing was that sunken dollar.
Sounds logical.
Mm-hmm. And here's another trimming. Before Grange died, he scrawled the numbers 1804 in blood on the floor. You see it?
Oh, yes.
Gets curiouser and curiouser.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yep, and this'll kill you. Under the counter, we found the corner of a $500 bill. Looks like it was torn off accidentally. Here.
This is very interesting. Happen to notice that the engraving is rather fuzzy, Matty?
You got quick eyes, Nick. Took me 10 minutes before I noticed.
What are you two talking about?
This is a piece of counterfeit money, Patsy.
Well, Nick, let's see you put it together. Why did the killer only steal the 1804 dollar when he could have taken a fortune in money and rare coins? And how come the counterfeit 500?
There's just one answer, Matty. This was murder for advertisement.
Murder for what?
The killer or killers deliberately murdered Grange to advertise the theft of the 1804 dollar.
Well, how do you figure that, Nick?
Well, in the first place, Grange didn't write 1804 in blood. The killer did.
What?
Grange was killed with 3 bullets through the heart. He must have died instantly.
Oh.
He couldn't have written that date.
Why, sure. That's right.
The killer wants the world to know that the 1804 dollar was stolen. Why?
So he can sell it.
No, I don't think so. Don't overlook the counterfeit money, Patsy.
What's that got to do with it?
The killer probably got Grange to show him the dollar by flashing phony money and pretending to be interested in buying.
But why?
If the killer can counterfeit modern money, he certainly can counterfeit an 1804 dollar.
Holy smoke, Nick. You think he's going to counterfeit a whole pack of these sunken dollars?
I do. And with a theft well advertised, he can sell dozens at $10,000 each, pretending each one is the original stolen dollar.
Then what do? We got nothing to go on.
Oh, Matty, you've got plenty. That Luger bullet is a rare bullet. There aren't many dealers in this city who carry it.
No, you're right, Nick.
Then get your squad out. Check every dealer. Try to get a line on recent purchasers.
Right. What about you?
I'm going back to the laboratory and do some research into the fine art of counterfeiting.
Nick?
Hmm?
Oh, it's past midnight. Aren't you ever going to quit?
I'm almost finished, Patsy.
What have you got?
Well, I've been through my counterfeiting samples about 20 times. I think I've eliminated all except 5 of them.
Oh, good.
Each of those 5 closely resembled the work on this note. Get our files
On counterfeiters, will you?
Uh-huh. Ready.
First sample, Jerry Hall.
Jerry Hall. Jerry Hall, at present serving 20-year term in Atlanta.
That lets him out. Hal Moore.
Hal Moore. Dead. Killed in 45.
That gets us down to 3. Joe Mitchell.
Mitchell. Out on parole, working in Chicago.
Maybe Joe's gone back to the old racket. Larry Denby.
Alcatraz.
Peter Baker.
Baker. Peter Baker, at Lodge, this city, last known address, 28 East 2nd.
And it's between Pete Baker and Joe Mitchell.
Uh-huh.
All right, we'll check Joe later. Maybe he's still in Chicago. Right now, we'll run down to 28 East 2nd and see what we can...
Oh, the phone. Nick Carter's office, Patsy Bowen speaking.
Patsy, this is Matty. Got a report for Nick.
Oh, just a minute. Nick, it's the sergeant.
Right. Yes, Matty?
Just finished the check on the Luger bullet, Nick. Only person who bought a 9mm slug in the past 6 months is a woman.
A woman?
Yeah. She bought it last week. Couldn't get anything much in the way of a description. She's a pretty redhead, that's all.
Huh. All right, Matty, thanks. Maybe I'll have something to report to you in an hour or so.
Yet, such as what?
I'll know as soon as I've spoken to Pete Baker.
What time is it, Louie? Louie, put down that magazine.
Huh? What'd you say?
What time is it?
1 o'clock.
Hey, Pete. Pete Baker.
Yeah?
How much longer, Grandpa?
Just a couple of minutes, Hazel.
Well, hurry it up.
You know, Hazel, you sound like a pretty cute kid when you put on that southern accent of yours.
Yeah? You mean you don't like me this way?
Oh, sure.
You better. Hey, Grandpa, I'm tired waiting.
All right. It's the first time I ever made molds for old-fashioned dough like this dollar.
You better do better with that than you did with them phony 500s we flashed on Grange. Thought the old boy was going to get wise. They were so bad.
You got a nerve. Talking like that to the best engraver and molder in the business.
Yeah, maybe there was one.
Okay. Just get those molds finished and
Just about finished now. Wait a minute. You aim to cast them silver dollars and sell them?
Yeah.
You worth much?
10 grand each, Grandpa. And it's safer than passing regular dough. If the guy that buys an 18-4 dollar finds out it's a phony, he can't squawk. He's already bought stolen goods.
That's pretty smart.
Yeah.
There we are. Beauties, ain't they? Best job ever done.
Let's see.
Won't be able to tell a coin cast from this mold from the real thing.
Yeah, pretty good.
Okay, wrap him up, Louie. Now let's get out of here.
Just a minute, folks. $5 grand was the price for making them molds. You don't take them unless you get paid.
He wants to be paid. Pay him, Louie.
Okay, Hazel.
This is 28 East 2nd, Patsy. Come on.
Uh-huh. Oh, I feel as though I'm walking in my sleep.
It's only a little after 1. We'll be finished soon.
Nick, look at the sign on the door. It says this building's been condemned.
Yeah, so I see.
Then we're out of luck, huh?
Not necessarily. Unfortunately, it's not unusual for people to have to live in a condemned building until it's actually torn down.
Yeah, that's true. Certainly be an ideal place for a hideout.
Well, we'll see what we can find anyway.
Mm-hmm. Golly, it's dark as pitch in here.
Get my flashlight out. There, that's better.
Oh, Nick, this place looks deserted.
Maybe. This apartment's certainly empty.
So's this one. Oh, this is a wild goose chase, Nick.
Now, wait, there are a couple of empty milk bottles outside that door down the hall.
Oh, they've probably been there for months.
Not so fast, Patsy. We can't afford to jump to conclusions. Let's take a look in that apartment anyway.
Okay. There's some furniture in here, Nick.
So I see.
Nick, you smell that perfume? Somebody's been in here recently.
Yes. The smell is too strong to be very old. Uh-oh.
Oh, Nick. Is that Peter Baker there on the floor?
Yes. Yeah, And he's very dead.
In the glare of the flashlight, Pete Baker's body is outlined, sprawled on the cluttered floor. Swiftly, Nick inspects the dingy room. Having discovered Pete Baker's body on the floor of his room, Nick examines the dead man closely.
2 bullet wounds in the chest. Body still warm. Patsy Baker was killed only a few minutes ago.
Nick, that perfume we smelled. Maybe the woman who wore that perfume killed him.
Possible. Wonder if there's anyone else living in this house who might have seen or heard anything.
Well, there's one way to find out, Nick.
Yeah, I'll see what I can find in here. While I do that, suppose you go through the building. Cover every apartment.
Right.
See if you can find anyone who heard shots about 5 minutes ago and what they did about it if they did.
Nick, I've been to every apartment in the building.
What did you find?
Nothing. They're all empty. You find anything?
I did. There was a woman in here with Baker. I found this long red hair.
Oh.
And I think there was a man with her.
Well, why do you think that?
Found the cigar butt under that chair. Probably where he sat. See all the cigar ashes on the floor there?
Yeah, but couldn't Baker have left it there?
No, I doubt that. Baker smoked a pipe. It's still there on the floor where he dropped it when he was shot.
Yeah. Nick, what do you think happened?
Baker must have been making a mold for them.
Uh-huh.
His blowtorch and crucibles and other apparatus are still warm.
Nick, could he have been making a mold of the $1804, do you suppose?
Very likely, the way this case ties together. And when he finished it, they killed him and then walked out.
Yeah. You through here now, Nick?
Yeah, I think so. We'll call Matty and go home and get some rest.
Okay, Nick. Here's the final report from the lab.
Fine, Matty. Let's have it.
Well, you figured it out just about right. There apparently was a man and a woman in the place with Baker, and she was a redhead. And chances are she's the same redhead who bought the Luger bullets.
By Jove, Matty. I'd forgotten about that.
No, well, we got the man's prints, but the woman wore gloves.
Could you identify the man?
Yeah, we checked the prints he left on this magazine, Nick. He's Louis Larkin, hijacker, gunman, and all-around crook. 2 terms in the state pen. Here's his file photo.
Ah, that helps.
Yeah?
Hey, what's this slip of paper in the magazine, Matty? Something of yours?
Huh? No, just an ad the dealer must have stuck in before he sold it. Says if you want your newspapers forwarded to you while you're on vacation, leave your name at the store.
Matty? You say you found Larkin's prints on this magazine?
Yeah.
Look at the date line.
What?
This magazine was put on the stands only yesterday.
Yeah? How does that help?
Well, you see the name on this ad?
Oh, Rogers Candy Store, 100 Park Road. So what?
Oh, Matty, don't you see? That's the store this magazine came from.
Well, what was it doing in Baker's place, then?
Hey, that's right. Park Road is way across town from where Baker lives.
Sure.
Maybe Baker didn't buy the magazine. Maybe Louis or the girl bought it.
Yeah. Maybe Louis and the girl are hiding out somewhere near this Rogers Candy Store.
That's what I was thinking. Well, if they are, Patsy and I will find them.
Louis,
Yeah, Hazel.
got the bags packed yet?
Yeah, just now finished, Hazel.
I've been going over the list of coin collectors, Louis. Got a nice schedule worked out.
Yeah?
Yeah, we hit Chicago first. There are 3 collectors there. 10 grand each makes 30 grand.
Hey, swell.
And St. Louis, Cleveland, New Orleans, El Paso, L.A., Frisco, and Seattle. The way I figure it, we'll split 300 grand. Easy.
Yeah, we sure should.
Pretty cheap for knocking off a couple of punks, huh?
You said it, Hazel.
You remember to get the train tickets yesterday?
Oh, sure. They're on the dresser there in the envelope.
Right. Yeah, I gotta hand it to myself, Louis. It's a foolproof racket. Some of these collectors are crazy guys. If they're daffy enough, they don't mind buying rare coins, even when they know they're stolen.
What I like about it is that they got to keep it secret because they're buying stolen goods. They got to cover up for us.
It's foolproof, Louis. 100% fool. Hey,
What's the matter?
come to the window, quick.
Well?
Down on the corner in front of the candy store.
Yeah.
See that tall guy standing there with magazines under his arm?
Yeah, I see him.
That's Nick Carter.
Nick Carter.
Yeah. Hustle up with that packing, Louis, and let's get out of here.
Yeah, I'll say.
Maybe Carter's around just by accident, or maybe he's on to us. Either way, we're taking no chances. Not for 300 grand and a murder rap, we ain't.
Over here, Patsy. Hurry up.
I got here as soon as I could, Nick. Do I look enough like a bobby soxer for you?
Oh, you look fine.
Well, I still don't understand. Why do I have to get dressed up like a bobby soxer and meet you here in front of Roger's candy store? Hey, you gonna buy me a soda, huh?
No. You're going to sell magazine subscriptions.
I am?
Yes.
Why?
In order to find a pair of killers.
Okay, Nick, give with the plan.
Well, you remember, one of them left a magazine at Pete Baker's workshop, and I traced it to this candy store?
Yes?
Well, the proprietor says he's sure the man who bought it lives in that house across the street. But he doesn't know who he is or in what apartment he lives.
And so I'm going to sell subscriptions from apartment to apartment until I find him.
Right. His name is Louis Larkin. Here's his picture.
No beauty, is he?
And there may be a red-headed girl with him. The one with the perfume.
I'll remember the perfume.
Now listen, Patsy. Just find out where they're located. Don't try anything else. They're a little too dangerous to play with.
Yeah?
Good morning, sir. I represent the All States magazine.
Beat it.
Well, that wasn't Louis Larkin. And no perfume yet. Good morning, madam. I represent the Universal and which is helping me work my way through college by the sale of magazines in which I'm sure you won't be interested.
Well, why shouldn't I be interested in literature? Come on in, honey. Come in.
Thanks. The All States Magazine Company publishes...
I thought you said Universal.
Huh? Oh, yes, I represent both. I tell you what. I left my subscription blanks down in my car.
Yeah?
Wait till I go down and get them.
Grab her, Louie. You're Nick Carter's girl, aren't you? Yeah, we saw you chewing a rag downstairs.
Hazel, Carter's hep to us. He knows we bumped Baker and Grange, and he knows we're here.
You're not telling me anything.
Well, what do we do?
I'm thinking.
Okay, so while you're giving the think tank a workout, I'll take care of this chick. Take it easy, sister. All I do is pull the trigger, and you won't feel hardly nothing at all. Pleasant dreams.
Patsy struggled helplessly as Louis Larkin aims his Luger automatic at her heart. We'll see what happens in just a moment. Now, please listen carefully, for here's how to send in for the 4 lovely William A. Rogers A1 Plus quality teaspoons Old Dutch Cleanser is offering. Order as many units of 4 as you wish. Just be sure to enclose 2 windmill pictures from Old Dutch labels and 60 cents in coin for each unit ordered, and then mail with your name and address to Old Dutch Cleanser, Box U, Chicago 90, Illinois. That's Box U, Chicago 90, Illinois. And remember, besides the 4 lovely William A. Rogers teaspoons in the beautiful Croydon pattern, you'll receive an illustrated folder that tells how to build up a complete matching service at a sensationally low cost. So, ladies, don't delay. Send for your 4 teaspoons now. Remember, enclose 2 windmill pictures from Old Dutch labels and 60 cents in coin, and mail with your name and address to Old Dutch Cleanser, Box U, Chicago 90, Illinois. Price is subject to change without notice. Send now. And now for the conclusion of the case of the Sunken Dollar. Today's adventure with Nick Carter, brought to you by Old Dutch Cleanser. As Louis Larkin's finger tightens on the trigger of his automatic and Patsy struggles helplessly, Hazel suddenly knocks the gun aside.
Cut it out, Louis. Everyone in the house would hear the shot. You wouldn't stand a chance.
You mean we'll let this dame go?
We'll take her with us to run interference. Carter will be too busy looking for the girl to worry about us.
Maybe he won't.
And he'll be too busy worrying about the girl to make her move. She's like a hostage, Louis. Get it?
Yeah.
While Carter's watching the front door, we're going out the back way. Take a cab to the station.
Well, what about the dame?
Stop worrying.
But we can't take...
Look, Louis, we've got a compartment on the train. And somewhere along the way, we'll push her out the window. With a bullet in her head.
Okay, Hazel, but I think you're nuts to do it.
Shut up, Louis. Let her go.
Now, look here, you...
And you listen to me, sister. One false move and Louis lets you have it here and now, understand?
I understand.
We might as well burn for 3 murders as for 2.
There's a hack coming, Hazel. Hey, taxi! Taxi!
Get in, honey.
Okay.
The train terminal driver. And will you please close the glass partition? I'm awfully cold back here.
Terminal? Okay, lady. I'll close the glass.
Okay, we made it. Carter will wait for the girl to come out, maybe 10 minutes. Then he'll start looking.
Yeah, and he won't find nothing. What a lamb.
We'll take the first train out.
Hey, maybe that don't go to Shy.
Maybe we can always get to Shy later. Maybe we'll start on the West Coast for now, huh?
It's okay with me. The further from Carter, the better.
Look, I'll make a bet with you. $100 to 1 cent that you don't get away from Nick.
We've already got away, sister.
Is it a bet?
It's a bet.
Only trouble is you won't be around to collect even if you win.
Hey, where are we? What's he stopping for? This isn't anywhere near the terminal.
Step right out, lady. Let me help you with your bags, mister.
Oh, we all don't want to get out here. I said the train terminal. This isn't the terminal.
You crazy? What is this place?
Police headquarters, Louis.
What?
What'd you say?
Don't move. Come on, Patsy, you get out first.
Okay, Nick.
Nick Carter?
Yes, Hazel. The name is Nick Carter. Now we'll just pile out of this cab, luggage, gun, moles, and all, and walk quietly into headquarters. Sergeant Matheson wants to talk to you about some assorted thefts and murders. All out, please.
Oh, before I forget, 1 cent, please, Hazel. I not only win the bet, I'm here to collect.
Oh, it was a beautiful job, Nick. Beautiful. But there's just one thing I don't figure.
What's that, Matty?
How in blazes did you know enough to get around to the back street and borrow that cab?
I have ears, haven't I? I heard Hazel and Louis making their plans.
But you heard them? How?
I was outside the apartment door. You don't think I'd let you walk into that murderous den alone, do you? I was right behind you all the way.
You were right behind me?
Yes, Betsy.
Then why didn't you bust in and capture those 2 crooks right then and there?
Didn't want to take any chances on anyone in a crowded apartment house being hit by stray bullets.
But they might have killed me before they left.
Patsy, you may be sure that I waited until I knew they were going to take you with them before I did what I did.
What?
Say, that was quite an act. All state magazines, Universal magazines.
You didn't trust me to do it all by myself. You treat me just like a baby.
No, Patsy.
I hate you, you mere man.
Now, Patsy, easy. You know, if it comes to that, how come you were so positive Nick would get Hazel and Louis? Oh, I heard all about the bet. $100 to 1 cent.
Oh, that.
Yeah, you were betting on a sure thing yourself now, weren't you? You knew Nick was the cab driver.
Well, I did not. I never recognized him.
Then how come the bet?
Because I knew I could trust Nick, which is more than he can say for me.
But, Patsy, if I hadn't followed you to protect you, I wouldn't have been able to win that bet for you.
Well, all right, you win. Heaven knows you always do.
Nick Carter, Master Detective, is presented each week at this time and over these same stations by the Cudahy Packing Company, makers of Old Dutch Cleanser. Remember, when you go shopping tomorrow, get the cleanser preferred by more women in America than any other. Old Dutch Cleanser. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Hard to think that Old Dutch Cleanser was a product of the Cudahy Packing Company, but you know. 78 years ago, June 29, 1947, Nick Carter, Master Detective, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit our webpage at classicradio.stream to support the program, either by making a purchase or by buying me a coffee. Either way, it's fine with me. Let's go next to an episode of the CBS Radio Workshop and the story of one of the saints, Joan of Arc.
Not all careless drivers have accidents, but many such careless drivers cause accidents. A woman driver who drives slowly down Main Street while doing a little window shopping is a menace. So is the man who insists on telling the people in the back seat of his car about his poker game last week. It's no wonder that ordinarily cautious drivers start to lose their tempers and take dangerous chances to pass these careless drivers. When an accident results, the person who caused the accident probably won't even be touched. So the National Safety Council says if you want to window shop, get out and walk. If you are too busy describing one of your sterling feats to pay any attention to traffic, get out and walk. The driver's license you have does not give you the right to endanger the lives of your passengers or other human beings. Driving can be dangerous. Keep your mind on what you're doing, or walk.
One of the things about the CBS Radio Workshop is you never knew if you were getting drama, if you were getting musicals, if you were getting opera, if you were getting historical fiction. And today you're going to hear the latter. An episode of the CBS Radio Workshop 69 years ago, June 29th, 1956, the story of Joan of Arc, the Eternal Joan.
The CBS Radio Workshop, dedicated to man's imagination, the theater of the mind. Tonight, the Eternal Joan, the story of Jeanne d'Arc as provided by historians, novelists, and playwrights of different nationalities and points of view. Narrated on tape by Louis Cronenberger, author, playwright, and critic, and dramatized by Henry E. Fritsch, with Elspeth Eric as Joan.
Have pity. Saint Margaret, have pity. Pray for her, all ye saints. Oh, Lord God, deliver her. Have mercy on her.
Burn the witch! Death to the witch!
Have pity, Saint.
Warm her up, the soldiers! Tight on the witch! Burn her!
Let's get it over with.
Burn her to the end! Make way for the heretic!
Make way for the guest of honor!
The Master General!
A witch!
The Maid of France!
Stupid!
Hey, you see what it says?
No.
Where? On her cap. Heretic, relapsed apostate, idolater!
Mercy! We beseech thee, good Lord!
Make way!
We are burning a saint.
This was the old market square in the French city of Rouen on the morning of the 30th of May, 1431. The occasion was the burning of a young peasant girl, not much past her 19th birthday. Her name was Jeanette. Her family name was d'Arc, first without an apostrophe, then with one, after Joan had got her family ennobled. We now know her as Jeanne d'Arc, or in the English equivalent, Joan of Arc. Joan died a fearful death on that pleasant May morning more than 5 centuries ago. She was tied to a wooden stake, standing on a pile of kindling and firewood, and slowly charred. She had first been excommunicated by her church.
We, having seen and weighed all there is to see and weigh, have said and decreed that in the simulation of your revelations and apparitions you have been pernicious, seductive, presumptuous, of light belief, rash, superstitious, a witch, a blasphemer of God, a despiser of him and his sacraments, a prevaricator of the
These are actual quotations from the official record of the trial of Joan of Arc before an ecclesiastical court at Rouen.
Erring gravely in our faith, and by this means having rashly trespassed against God and the Holy Church. Therefore we denounce you as a rotten member which must be cast out and given over to the secular power.
The secular power to which Joan was given over by her own countrymen, that is, the English Army of Occupation, did not even take the trouble to hold a trial or to make formal charges. Her sentence took less than a minute.
What now, priest?
Are you going to keep us here to dinner?
Take her! Take her!
Jesus! Jesus! Of course!
A kind English soldier broke a stick in half and tied it together in the form of a cross. Joan kissed the makeshift emblem and clutched it tightly to her body. A short time later, she was dead. Yet only 25 years later, Joan was cleared of all the accusations that had been brought against her, and she was officially declared a saint in 1920. More than 40,000 statues have been erected to her in France alone, plus many others in other lands, including our own United States. Why? Thousands of books and plays have been written about her in various languages. Why? Here is our own Samuel Clemens.
Caesar carried conquest far, but he did it with the trained and confident veterans of Rome, and he was a trained soldier himself. Napoleon swept away the disciplined armies of Europe, but he also was a trained soldier, and he began his work with patriot battalions, inspired by the miracle-working new breath of liberty. Joan, a mere child in years, ignorant, unlettered, a poor village girl, unknown and without influence, found a great nation lying in chains, helpless and hopeless under an alien domination. Its king was cowed, resigned, and preparing to flee the country. And Joan laid hands upon this nation, this corpse, and it rose and followed her.
But this point alone is not enough to explain the universal appeal which Joan the Maid has had for all the world. Yes, even for the Marquesas Islanders in the Pacific, who to this day are convinced that the English ate Joan, or else why would they have wanted to roast her? There's little doubt about the bare facts, since fortunately complete records of Joan's long trials have come down to us. But for the touchstones of human understanding, we have to turn to those who have tried to interpret Joan on the basis of individual insight. Her historians, novelists, and playwrights of different nationalities and points of view.
I'll start at the beginning. It's always nicer at the beginning. I'll begin with my father's house when I was still very small. I'm in the meadow now, watching my sheep. It's the first time I hear the voices after the evening Angelus.
That was the voice of Joan herself, describing her first experience with the mystic powers that controlled the rest of her short life. The scene is taken from the play The Lark, written by Jean Anouilh of France and adapted by Lillian Hellman.
I still wear my hair in a thick braid. I'm not thinking of anything. I know only that God is good and that He keeps me pure and safe in this little corner of the earth near Domremy. This one little piece which has not yet been destroyed by the English invaders. I live here happy with my father, my mother, and my brothers. Then suddenly, someone behind me touched my shoulder. I know very well there is no one behind me. I turn. And there is a great blinding light. The voice is grave and sweet. I never heard that kind of voice before. That day the voice only said, "Be a good girl, Joan, and go often to church." Well, I was good, and I did go often to church, so I didn't understand why the voice spoke that way, and I was frightened. But I didn't tell anybody. I don't know why. Then came the second time. It was the noon Angelus. A light came over the sun and was stronger than the sun. There he was. I saw him. An angel in a beautiful white robe that must have been ironed by someone very careful. He didn't tell me his name that day, but later I found out he was Monseigneur the Blessed Saint Michael. Joan, go to the aid of the King of France and give him back his kingdom. But, Monseigneur, I'm only a girl. I don't even know how to ride a horse. You will go first to Monsieur de Baudricourt. He will give you men's clothes and have you taken to the Dauphin. St. Catherine and St. Margaret will go along to help you.
The Dauphin, of course, was Charles, son and presumably legal heir of the last French king, Charles VI. Charles, the father, was generally regarded as mad and had signed a treaty with England, disavowing his son and recognizing Henry V of England as his heir. He had also ceded all of France north of the River Loire, which gave the English justification for their French campaigns. The Dauphin was weak, yet this was the man for whose coronation at Reims, as Charles VII of France, Joan was to give her life. Her voices had told her that. So Joan received her mission. She didn't leave her native Domremy right away. She was 17 before she felt ready to set out into the unknown world to help rescue France. For a poetic view of Joan's farewell to her beloved countryside, there is nobody better to turn to than that German romanticist to end all romanticists, Friedrich Schiller, and his play, The Maid of Orleans.
Farewell, ye mountains, ye beloved glades, ye lone and peaceful valleys. Fare ye well. Through you, Johanna nevermore may stray. Johanna goes and ne'er returns again. Such is to me the Spirit's high behest. To Gaul's heroic sons deliverance bring. Relieve beleaguered Reims and crown thy king.
And so, instructed by a power higher than any earthly authority, Jeanette reluctantly left her childhood home in Domremy to become the maid. A few months later, in Reims, Joan saw her great dream come true. The Dauphin, her Dauphin, was anointed with the heaven-sent oil and formally crowned King Charles VII of France. When Joan left home, Papa Jacques and Mama Isabel knew only that their daughter was going to visit her favorite uncle in the village of Bury. But Bury was near Vaucouleurs, the residence of Messire Robert de Baudricourt, whom the Archangel had directed Joan to see as the first step in her mission. The actual meeting, when it took place, may well have been one of the most hilarious interviews of all time. Here is the version of Bernard Shaw, whose play St. Joan is generally regarded as the classic interpretation of Joan's character and behavior. The loud voice is that of the captain, Sire Robert de Baudricourt. But the first voice is that of his unhappy steward, fresh out of eggs.
Sir, I tell you there are no eggs. There will be none. Not if you kill me for it as long as the maid is at the door.
The maid? What maid? What are you talking about?
The girl from Lorraine, sir. From Domremy.
30,000 thunders, I told you to throw her out. You have 50 men-at-arms and a dozen lumps of able-bodied servants to carry out my orders. Are they afraid of her?
She is so positive, sir.
Positive? Now, see here, I'm going to throw you downstairs.
No, sir, please.
Well, stop me by being positive. It's quite easy. Any slut of a girl can do it.
Sir, you cannot get rid of her by throwing me out. You see, sir, You are much more positive than I am. But so is she.
You parcel of curs. You are afraid of her.
No, sir. We are afraid of you, but she puts courage into us. She really doesn't seem afraid of anything. Perhaps you could frighten her, sir.
Perhaps. Where is she now?
Down in the courtyard, sir, talking to the soldiers as usual.
She shall talk to me a bit. Hello! You there! Come up here. You, soldiers, show her the way. And shove her along quick.
She wants to go and be a soldier herself. She wants you to give her soldiers' clothes, armor, sir, and a sword.
Good morning, Captain Squire. Captain, you are to give me a horse and armor and some soldiers and send me to the Dauphin. Those are your orders from my lord.
Orders from your lord? And who may your lord be? Go back to him and tell him that I am neither duke nor peer at his orders. I am Squire of Vaudricourt, and I take no orders except from the king.
Yes, Squire, that's all right. My lord is the King of Heaven.
Why, the girl's mad.
They all say I'm mad till I talk to them, Squire. But you will see that it is the will of God that you are to do what he has put in my mind.
It is the will of God that I shall send you back to your father with orders to put you under lock and key and thrash the madness out of you.
You think you will, Squire, but you'll find it all coming quite different. You said you would not see me, but here I am.
Now listen to me. I am going to assert myself.
Please do, Squire. The horse will cost 16 francs. It's a good deal of money, but I can save it on the armor. I shall not want many soldiers. The Dauphin will give me all I need to raise the siege of Orleans.
To raise the siege of Orleans?
Yes, Squire. That is what God is sending me to do.
Well, I am damned.
No, Squire. God is very merciful. You will go to paradise, and your name will be remembered as my first helper.
Joan got her horse, her equipment, and her escort. But when her small party arrived at Chinon after a hard ride through 350 miles of winter landscape, she still faced her main problem. How was she, a poor, illiterate country girl, going to get an audience with the Dauphin himself? News of her arrival at Chinon finally reached even the ears of the Dauphin, and Joan was in the end admitted to the court. But to make sure that she was really divinely inspired, Charles and his courtiers decided to play a trick on her. Someone else would sit on the throne and pretend to be the Dauphin, while Charles himself would hide in the crowd of attendants, making himself inconspicuous. Here are two versions of what happened when Joan entered the royal hall of the chateau at Chinon. The first is that of Schiller. As Joan enters, she surveys the resplendent hall, then looks up at the army commander, Dunois, who in this version is impersonating the Dauphin on his throne. Dunois welcomes her.
Art thou the wondrous maiden?
Dunois of Orleans, thou wilt tempt thy God. This place abandoned which becomes thee not. To this more mighty one the maid is sent.
Joan walks firmly toward the Dauphin, who is peering from behind the back of a knight. She kneels before him. Charles is understandably surprised.
Maiden, thou ne'er hast seen my face before. Whence hast thou this knowledge?
Thee I saw when none beside save God in heaven saw thee. Bethink thee, Dauphin, in the bygone night when all around lay buried in deep sleep, thou from thy couch didst rise and offer up an earnest prayer to God.
Disclose to me my prayer, and I shall doubt no more that God inspired thee.
Thou didst pray that if there were appended in this crown unjust possession, or if heavy guilt occasioned this most lamentable war, God would accept thee as a sacrifice. Have mercy on thy people, and pour forth upon thy head the chalice of his wrath.
Who art thou, mighty one? Whence comest thou? Shall I indeed withstand mine enemies?
France I will lay submissive at thy feet.
And Orleans, sayest thou, will not be surrendered?
The Loire shall sooner run its waters back.
Shall I in triumph enter Reims?
I through 10,000 foes will lead thee.
In the modern Anouilh Hellman play, the Dauphin is no storybook king. As the scene opens, Charles is lolling indolently on his throne, playing with one of those cup and ball toys that still delight children today. Enter the Archbishop of Reims.
Oh, Archbishop, you have arrived just in time. I am on the point of governing.
There is not time for jest, Your Majesty. We are faced with the dangerous problem of this peasant girl. The people are in love with her. They are convinced that God has sent her to you and that she alone can save France. They think she works miracles.
I have sympathy for them. They are as desperate as I am. As for this girl, I have no curiosity about her. I know too many people as it is, and a messenger from God doesn't sound very amusing. But I want to be a good king and please my people, therefore I shall see this girl. I think I might like to play a trick on her. Let's put a page upon the throne. Let's clothe him in the royal doublet with the fewest patches. He'll look better than I do. And let us enjoy the sight of God's envoy pleading her cause to a page boy.
And so, when Joan timidly enters the throne room, it's a young court attendant who is impersonating the Dauphin. She sees through the deception, however, just as quickly as she did in the case of Dunois in Schiller's play. She surveys the crowd and walks straight to Charles, who tries to run from her.
What do you want?
Noble Dauphin, I am Joan the maid. The King of Heaven has sent me to tell you that you must be anointed and crowned in the city of Reims.
Well, that is splendid, mademoiselle, but Reims is in the hands of the English, as far as I know. How shall we get there?
We will fight our way there, Noble Dauphin. First we will take Orleans, and then we will walk to Reims. God told me, Noble Dauphin.
You haven't come here to kill me? No. No, of course not. You have an honest face. I've lived so long with these pirates that I've almost forgotten what an honest face looks like. Are there many people who have honest faces?
Many, sire.
Well, I never see them. Well, all right. Start boring me. Tell me that I ought to be a great king.
Yes, Charles.
In the end, Joan gets what she wants. Her army, her appointment, and a dazzling white suit of armor especially made for her. Joan's effect upon the English troops, who had been just about invincible until she appeared, is described by Schiller. The voices are those of English soldiers, except for the rather heart-rending lament of their commander, Sir John Talbot.
The maiden in the camp! Impossible, it cannot be. How come she in the camp?
Why, through the air. The devil aided her. Fly!
We're dead men!
They heed me not. They stay not at my call. The sacred bonds of discipline are loosed. I cannot rally even the smallest troop. Who is she then? The irresistible, the dread-inspiring goddess who doth turn at once the tide of battle and transform to lion's bold a herd of timid deer. A woman snatched from me all martial fame.
The maiden comes. Fly, General, fly!
Well, as we know, the army with which Joan took the field did liberate Orleans, and within a few months had cleared the road to Reims so that the Dauphin could be properly consecrated King of France. Joan's army then turned to liberate Paris, but the siege of Paris was called off. Joan, wounded for the third time in a year, was captured some months later by Burgundian soldiers who were then allied with the English. The Burgundians sold her to the English command for 10,000 French pounds, a sum normally paid only for the highest nobles. The English, in turn, handed Joan over to a French ecclesiastical court convened in English-occupied Rouen for trial on charges of sorcery, witchcraft, or anything else that would lead to excommunication. The idea was that once Joan had been convicted on any such charge by her own countrymen, the English would be free to condemn and execute her for the damage she had caused them. And that's the way it worked out.
Joan, commonly called the Maid, having been captured within our diocese of Beauvais, and having been surrendered, dispatched, given, and delivered to us as a person vehemently suspected of heresy.
After weeks of badgering, Joan, exhausted and terrified of death by fire, finally put her mark to a paper which she was unable to read, admitting all the sins charged against her and forswearing them for the future. She even resumed female clothing for a short time. But when she found out that her promised acquittal would mean only life imprisonment on a diet of bread and water, the bread of sorrow and the water of affliction, as the judges put it, she decided that she preferred a swifter death, however horrible. Bernard Shaw describes her so-called relapse like this.
They told me you were fools. You promised me my life, but you lied. You think that life is nothing but not being stone dead? It is not the bread and water I fear. Bread has no sorrow for me, and water no affliction. But to shut me from the light of the sky and the sight of the fields and flowers, to chain my feet, to make me breathe foul, damp darkness, and keep me from everything that brings me back to the love of God. I could do without my war horse. I could drag about in a skirt. I could let the banners and the trumpets and the knights and soldiers pass me and leave me behind as they leave the other women. If only I could still hear the wind and the trees, the larks and the sunshine, the young lambs crying through the healthy frost, and the blessed church bells. But without these things I cannot live. What I am, I will not denounce. What I have done, I will not deny.
And we still have from Joan what is perhaps the most touching answer ever given to a life and death question in the history of Inquisition.
Joan, do you now believe yourself to be in a state of grace?
If I am not, may God put me there. If I am, may God so keep me.
That was Joan of Arc. Did anyone ever understand her? Do we understand her today? Perhaps Jean Anouilh said it best.
You cannot explain Joan any more than you can explain the tiniest flower growing by the wayside. There's just a little living flower that has always known, ever since it was a microscopic seed, how many petals it would have and how big they would grow, exactly how blue its blue would be, and how its delicate scent would be compounded. There is just the phenomenon of Joan, as there is the phenomenon of a daisy, or the sky, or a bird.
What pretentious creatures men are, if that is not enough for them.
You have been listening to the CBS Radio Workshop and the Eternal Joan, a treatment of the Joan of Arc story. Written by Henry E. Fritsch, with Elspeth Eric as Joan and Louis Cronenberger, drama critic for Time magazine, as tape narrator. The Eternal Joan was produced and directed by Paul Roberts. Music composed and conducted by Alexander Steinert. Included in tonight's cast were Alan Hewitt as Baudricourt and Jack Manning as the Dauphin. Also heard were John Gibson, Daniel Ocko, Bob Dryden, Louis Van Rooten, Roger DeKoven, Ed Prentice, Guy Repp, Ellen Muir, Gladys Holland, and Ruth Tobin. This is Bob Hite inviting you to join us next week when from Hollywood we'll present A Portrait of Paris, a word picture of the French capital, recorded by David Schoenbrunn, chief of the Paris Bureau of CBS News. America listens most to the CBS Radio Network.
69 years ago, June 29, 1956, the CBS Radio Workshop here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Up next, we'll head to Pine Ridge, Arkansas, see what's going on with Lum and Abner.
We live in an age of specialization. We work in it, too. The legendary jack of all trades has lost out to the master of one. Too often, however, 20th century employers find it difficult to find the highly trained, highly skilled workers they need. Like any problem, however, theirs will yield to thought and consideration. A physically handicapped worker, for example, may not be able to do every job well, but if he's trained to do the one job you want done, you can rest assured he'll do that job well. A physical disability is not and need not be a job disability. Very often a handicap will even add to the worker's efficiency. Where excessive room noise is a factor, a deaf employee may prove more efficient than his colleagues. Weekdays, call the local office of your state employment service and hire the handicapped to fill job openings in your organization. You will find the state employment service listed in your telephone directory.
And we wrap up this Sunday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox by taking a trip to Pine Ridge, Arkansas. And we see what was going on in the life of Lum and Abner on this date 83 years ago, June 29th, 1942.
The makers of Alka-Seltzer bring you Lum and Abner. See, I wonder, folks, when you've had an unusually busy day and your head aches and a touch of acid indigestion's adding to your misery, do you ever think of Alka-Seltzer? Well, you should, because this is just one of the many times you'll be glad you have a package of Alka-Seltzer tablets in your home. You'll really welcome the fast relief that Alka-Seltzer offers for the headache, the sour upset stomach, and the nervous indigestion that sometimes follow a busy, hectic day. Try it, won't you? The next time, drink a glass of sparkling, refreshing Alka-Seltzer and just see how much better it can make you feel fast. Now, if you do not have a package of these modern effervescent tablets in your home now, get one quickly at any drugstore and have Alka-Seltzer's soothing relief ready when you want it. And now, let's see what's going on down in Pine Ridge. Well, life is indeed gloomy for poor Abner. Elizabeth and little Pearl have left him. All Abner found when he entered his house to settle his marital misunderstandings was a brief farewell note and some cold corned beef in the icebox. All efforts to locate Elizabeth and Pearl have failed so far, and her disappearance is shrouded in mystery. As we look in on the little community today, we see the old fellows in their jot-em-down store and library. Abner is talking on the telephone. Listen.
No letter at all, huh? Not even a postcard? Yeah, well, if anything comes for me, well, let me know right away, Dick. All right. Goodbye. Blame it, didn't get a single word.
Well, natural. Elizabeth went away and left you. She ain't going to sit around writing love letters to you.
Well, she could at least write and tell me where she's at, Lon.
Well, she don't want you to know where she's at. At least not right away. She wants to keep that a secret, more than likely.
Well, I ought to have got a letter from her brother then, the one that lives down there in Texas. When Elizabeth goes anywhere, that's where she generally goes. So I writ him and asked him if she was there, but he won't even answer my letter.
Well, he ain't had time to answer it yet.
Oh, he's had enough time. Just sits around the house, don't hardly ever do nothing. Well, except go to work every day. He's got plenty of time to write, though.
I mean, there ain't been time for a letter to get to him and for him to send one back to you.
Oh, he just says that. Just using that for an excuse. Actually, he's just too ornery to write to me. That's the whole thing. Just too
Well,
ornery.
now, wait a minute, Abner. You're jumping at conclusions here.
More than likely, he taken my letter and tore it up in little bitty pieces. That's just about what he done. Maybe he never even read it before he tore it up. I don't know.
Abner, before you go around making statements like that, you ought to get the facts of the case first.
Snake in the weeds. Imagine a feller doing a thing like that, Lon. Your own brother-in-law tearing up a letter without even reading it first.
He never done no such a thing.
He did do it.
He never.
Well, if he never done it, then how'd I find out about it?
Well, just wait a minute now. Tell me exactly how did you find out about it?
Why? Let's see now. Where did I hear that? I know I heard it somewhere.
The only place you heard it was from yourself, and all you done was imagine it.
No, sir, I heard it somewhere,
No,
Lon.
you never. So just forget that and try to relax. This whole thing's got you so upset you don't know hardly what you're doing.
Well, maybe it was Grandpappy Spears that told me.
No, it wasn't Grandpap. Now stop worrying, Abner.
See who
You'll
was
get a hearing from your brother-in-law in a day or so, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Elizabeth come back quicker than ever then.
Come back?
Why, sure. She won't be able to stay away very long, I don't think. They always come back.
Well, I don't believe Elizabeth will, old Lon. That note she left for me sounded awful fine.
Sometimes they come back when you don't want them.
Yeah, well, I want her back, but she said in that note that she could see that the only thing to do was just take little Pearl and leave me for good.
Yeah, I know. But again, she gets away from here, she'll start recollecting how nice everything used to be at home. Then she'll get to missing, you know, and get homesick. She'll be back.
Doggies, I hope so. Tell you, Lum, again I wake up in the morning and I don't hear Elizabeth and little Pearl clattering around the house. It just don't seem like there's any reason to get up. Don't seem like life's worth living no more.
Elizabeth clatters in the morning, does she?
Oh, yeah, her and little Pearl. Get out there and chop wood to build a fire to cook breakfast. I lay there in bed, hear 'em every morning. Every morning of the world.
Well, now,
chop.
Pull yourself together, Abner. This ain't gonna last but a few days more. At least I don't think it will.
All as before, I wish Elizabeth and Pearl had quiet down and quit all that noise in the morning so as I could get some sleep. Doggies, now I'd give anything in the world to hear that noise. Chop, chop.
That's the way with everything. A feller don't never appreciate something till he has to get along without it. You
Yeah.
never miss the water till the well goes dry. I've always said that.
Well, we got a good well of water, Lon. It's Elizabeth that's wormy, her being gone.
I know, I just used
I
it
could
for-
borrow water from my neighbors, but Elizabeth's gone, Lum. That's the worst thing that could happen to me. I know one thing, if Elizabeth ever does come back, I'm going to be awful good to her. Never get mad at her again. Never say a mean word to her. as
Well,
long as I
good
live.
for you, Abner. I'm proud to hear you say that.
Doggies, I might even help her chop the wood. Once in a while.
Well, now, wait a minute, Abner. Don't get yourself carried away with all your good resolutions here. It's one thing to be good to your woman, but actual doing woman's work's going a little too far.
Tis, huh?
Yeah. She'll have you milking the cows and feeding the stock and doing the plowing the first thing you know.
Doggies, that's just about right.
And
That's
she
what
won't
it
have
is.
no respect for you if you start doing things like that.
No, I reckon you're right, Lon. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what I'll do, though. I'll keep the axe good and sharp for her. I'll do that.
Well, that's all right.
Doggies, I wish she'd come back. I sure
Don't
miss her.
worry, she will. Just be patient.
Well, I can't be patient at a time like this. Doggies, wait a minute. I know what I'm going to do. Yeah, I'm going to go get her.
Well, how can you do that?
Well, I'll do it some way. I'll carry her all the way home if I have to, but I'm going to get her back here, Lon.
Yeah, but you don't know where to get to her.
Huh?
So far, we ain't been able to find a single clue telling us where she might have went.
Huh?
Not a single person we've talked to knows a thing about her, or else they ain't telling us the truth, Lon.
Yeah, well, I know where she's at. She's down in Texas at her brother's place. That's where she's at.
Oh, you don't know that for sure now, Abner.
I do done it, Lon. That's why her brother tore up that letter of mine. He just don't want me to know she's down there.
For goodness sake.
Doggies, I'll show him a couple of things or two. I'll go right down there and drag that young lady home. That's what I'll do. And I won't stop to pick up the broke glass, neither.
Broke glass?
No, sir.
What broke glass?
Why, the glass in the window. He'll have all the doors locked on me to where I can't get in the house. I'll just have to break through a window. All I hope is he misses me.
Misses you?
Yeah, I'd hate to get filled full of buckshot.
Now, wait a minute. Are you trying to make me believe that he'd get out a gun and start shooting at you?
Why, sure he will.
Well, let out, Caps, anything I've heard you say yet.
I know it. I don't understand it myself, Lon. I don't know what's come over that man. I just can't figure it out. Used to be such a nice, gentle sort of a feller, too. My favorite brother-in-law. Now look at him, firing a gun at his own relays.
Oh, for goodness sakes, he ain't doing no such a thing.
Why, he is. That's what they're saying about him.
Who's they?
Huh?
Who's all these fellers that's saying that?
Why,
See there, you don't know. This is all just your imagination, Abner. And that's something you ought to get over. Because someday that imagination of yours will more than likely be a ruination of you, getting you in a lot of trouble. So just watch out for it.
Well, that ain't what I'm watching out for. It's that buckshot that I'm worried about right now.
Abner, there ain't gonna be no buckshot fired at you. Your brother-in-law's a nice feller, and he wouldn't even do such a thing as that.
Why, he would, Lon, since this change has come over. I don't believe you'd even recognize him now. Looks like a different feller, Lon.
How do you know? You ain't saw him for a couple of 3 years. How can you tell what he looks like now?
Huh?
You see, this is all just your imagination, Abner. All you got to do is say something out loud, and right away you think it's something you've heard someplace, and it's actual the truth. What if I went around doing that, too? Granny, both of us had been ruined a long time ago.
All I know, Lum, is that I hate and despise that low-down brother-in-law of mine.
No, you don't.
I do.
You ain't got a single reason in the world to hate him.
Feller shooting at you and you won't hate him for it?
Well, wait till you find out the facts before you say anything like that. Try to pattern yourself after me for a while.
After you?
Yeah. I'll always find out the actual true facts of anything before I make any statements.
You do, huh?
Yeah, that way I'll always know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You don't hear me going around making mistakes like you do.
Just the same, I hate and despise my brother-in-law.
No, you don't, Abner.
Yeah, I do.
Who you ought to hate is Sister Simpson, or Annabelle Kearney. There's the one. There's the woman to blame right there. She's the one that caused all this trouble. If she hadn't come to Pine Ridge for a visit, none of this would have ever happened.
Yeah, dog it, I believe you're right, Mom. Dad blame her anyway.
And you know what I've got a good mind to do?
Huh?
I believe I'll just call her up and tell her exactly what I think of her.
Yeah, call her up. I dog it, I'll tell her a couple of things myself. Whereabouts is she staying? Over at the Blevins' place?
I reckon so. She always does whenever she comes to town.
Yeah.
Her and the Blevins is some kind of kin, I think. Cousins or something. What's their ring?
2 short and a long, I believe it is, Lon. No, it ain't. A short and a long, a short, that's what it is. Made a mistake. Well, as I know that place, I had you calling the Bates' place there. I wish that woman would have never come to town. Let's just tell her to get out of town and never come back, Lon.
Hello? Is that you, Miss Blevins? Well, I'd like to speak with Annabelle. Yeah, Annabelle Kearney.
I'll speak to her, too, Lon.
Mom?
On her and my brother-in-law out of
town. Oh, is she left already?
He was here.
She never. Are you sure about that? Oh, swan to goodness. Mom? Oh, no, it weren't nothing important. Fact is, I believe I had the wrong name, come to think about it.
No, that's her name, Lon.
Sorry I bothered you, Miss Blevins. Well, all right. Goodbye. Goodbye. Well, I do know.
What's the matter, Lon?
That's curious.
Huh?
Annabelle Kearney ain't in town.
She ain't?
Oh, and what's more, she ain't been here neither. Not for 3 years, Miss Blevins said.
Well, for the land's sake. Well, how'd all these stories about her get started then?
Granny's, I don't know.
Whereabouts did you hear that Annabelle Kearney was in town, Lon?
I was just trying to think.
Was it Mousy Gray?
No, it couldn't have been Mousy, because I was the one that told him.
Sister Simpson?
No, I don't believe so. No, I know it wasn't. I recollect she called up here asking about a cat named Annabelle.
Yeah, well, that was the one I got Elizabeth for a present, but never had a chance to give it to her.
And after that, let's see. Well, for goodness sakes, I don't believe nobody told me.
Huh?
I just got to putting 2 and 2 together that day, and I was the one that started this whole, well, just skip it.
What was you going to say?
Nothing, Abner. It ain't nothing important.
Well, what was it?
I told you it weren't nothing important.
Well, now, it must have been something, Lon.
All I was going to say, Abner, was that I've changed my mind. I don't believe you ought to pattern yourself after me after all.
Buy wisely. Those are the watchwords of the family budget today. And here's the wise way to buy vitamins. Figure out how many units you get for your money. Because it's the unit strength that counts, and not just the number of tablets in the package. So when you're buying B vitamins, remember the easy, thrifty one-a-day way. One-a-day brand vitamin B complex tablets. Ask your druggist to take them down from the shelf for you. Then read the labels and check the vitamin units on the package. You will find that each single one-a-day brand vitamin B complex tablet gives you your full minimum daily requirements of all those vitamins of the B complex. Those requirements have been established by experts in the field of nutrition. Yes, that brand name, one-a-day, means exactly what it says. 1 tablet a day is all you take. And 1 tablet a day is all you pay for. That's exactly why one-a-day is a thrifty way. Compare the B vitamin units in a package of one-a-day B complex tablets with any other B vitamin product your druggist has. One-a-day brand vitamin B complex tablets come in 3 sizes, and they'll cost you only about 25 or 26 cents a week, depending on the size you buy. Ask for one-a-day brand, and to double-check, look for that big 1 on the package. Then turn to your druggist and say, "I'll take the one-a-day way."
Yep, Lum started it all, and he had no idea how to finish it either. Going back 83 years, June 29, 1942, Lum and Abner here on this Sunday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Join us for our Monday edition with the movie's Boston Blackie appearing as radio's Boston Blackie from 81 years ago, Calling All Cars from 88 years ago, Escape Bloodbath starring Vincent Price, and the CBS Radio Workshop, a recreation of the battle at Gettysburg, and an episode of The Couple Next Door. See you tomorrow for more Classic Radio Theater. I'm Wyatt Cox.
Having a life scholarship and being able to afford to go to college made me feel inspired to go.
When I got a life scholarship, it was such a relief.
I knew that I wanted to have an impact. Having a life scholarship through the SC Education Lottery was huge. It gave me the opportunity to make that impact right here at home.
The South Carolina Education Lottery. A better you, a better us, a better South Carolina. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.